It's a beautiful scene on a Friday afternoon, Camden Yards. The first of 4 divisional series postseason games here this afternoon. The Detroit Tigers have to deal with this crowd. They have Verlander on the mound, but they also have concerns about their center fielder, Rajai Davis. And for more on that story, we welcome in Jamie Maggio.
All right, thanks, Brian. You know, when the Tigers traded Austin Jackson for David Price, Rajai Davis became the starting center fielder. He's got speed, but his speed was visibly in question in Game 1. He's battling that unusual lower abdomen strain. Now, when we spoke to Brad Ausmus this morning, he was actually waiting to put out the starting lineups, and he waited till the last minute, not sure if Davis was going to be able to go. Well, I'll tell you what, Davis has been in the big leagues for nearly a decade. This is his first postseason. He does not want to sit this one out. He actually told me a day game might be better for him. He wouldn't have to warm up as much. And the verdict, he is the starting center fielder today. He'll be batting ninth, but that is something to keep our eye on, guys. Yeah, no question. Good report there, Jamie. Thank you for that. We'll be watching Davis all day long here. Let's get you the starting lineup. So this is what Ausmus comes up with today. It's presented by T-Mobile, and it looks similar to yesterday with Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera at the top. Martinez, the DH once again. J.D. Martinez in left field. Those three in the middle of the order all homered last night. Then you got Castellanos, Avila, Andrew Romine will be the shortstop again, and Rajai Davis in center field. Same starting 9 for Ausmus and the Tigers. And this time the Tigers are going to face a left-hander at Wei-Yin Chen. 16 wins during the regular year and a 3.5 earned run average.
Well, he's been big for them all year. He was hurt last season, lost about half the season, but this year he's been clutch. Lost his first game, lost his last 2 games. In between that, 16-3. Great walks, 35 walks. He's around the plate, you know, fastball, little cutter, little changeup. But that sneaky fastball doesn't throw real hard, but it gets on you. You got to keep the ball in the ballpark. I'd say that about anybody that takes the mound.
Especially in Baltimore, where the ball jumps out of here.
Now we're ready to play ball. Game 2. It's going to be a great day of postseason baseball all across the schedule. 4 of them today as the National League Division Series gets started as well. And we'll bookend it on TBS. Ian Kinsler will lead off. This place was so loud yesterday. It's an early start, though. Quick turnaround for these two teams. Fans still filing in, trying to make their way to downtown Baltimore for this noon start. Chen's first offering is in there for a strike, and away we go. Baltimore puts a lot of shifts on. They are very advanced in that category. They like to play 3 infielders on the left side with Kinsler at the plate. Sometimes you'll see extreme shifting. Sometimes it's subtle. It actually hurt him last night on one occasion with Kinsler at the plate in a very similar setup. He had an infield hit. It was a good ball game last night until the 8th inning. Very tight one. Miguel Cabrera hit a late home run to make it a 1-run game. And then Joe, the Orioles just hit the gas on the Tigers bullpen and put a snowman on the board in the 8th inning and put it away.
Well, there's been some gas applied by the Tigers bullpen lately. So last night was the 3rd time in the last 4 games that's happened. Now, I think Kinsler and Torrey Hunter today are real keys offensively for Detroit. The way the middle of the order is hitting for Detroit, all 3 guys homered last night. They've been hot through September. These 2 guys need to get on base ahead of them.
Kinsler had some great at-bats last night. You know, it was that 13-14 pitch at bat. You never see that from Kinsler. He always puts it in play early.
2-2 on Kinsler, and Chen gets him to pop it up in the infield. Jonathan Scope will make the call and the catch, and that's how the afternoon begins in Game 2 of this LDS. Joe, take us through the Baltimore defense.
Well, they've got some Gold Glovers on their ball club, and they're one of the best defensive teams in all of baseball, not just the American League. Jones a Gold Glover, Markakis a Gold Glover in the outfield. J.J. Hardy has been outstanding for them, a very steady-handed shortstop. He too has won a couple of Gold Gloves. They catch it.
J.J. Hardy making some noise with his bat last night. Hit a key home run, an add-on run for the Orioles last night. 5 home runs in the game last night. The Tigers hit 3. They got home runs from their big bats, Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez, Victor and J.D. As you mentioned, Joe, Torrey Hunter becomes a key spot in this lineup, setting up those big bats. And last night, Torrey Hunter had 2 swings of the bat that produced 4 outs in the game. Twice double plays. One was a ground ball, a 6-4-3 double play. The other was a line drive out with the runner on a move that turned into a double play as well. They're going to need more from Torrey Hunter moving forward.
Do you think they're going to get some good hacks off of Wei-Yin Chen? I mean, he's not overpowering. He looks at the easy delivery. Looks like he's not even trying.
Nasty breaking ball, an 0-2 pitch, and Hunter strikes out.
And this looks like a hard curveball going straight down. You know, he throws a slider too, but a little too anxious right here by Hunter. That ball's not even close. You see that one hops the catcher after hitting a bullet foul. He just could not wait.
Part of the key for Chen is his deception. The fact that he hides the ball so well, and it's almost like Hunter had already made up his mind to swing before he picked the ball up.
Here is Miguel Cabrera now with 2 outs. 25 homers in the regular season. Hit one last night that made it a 1-run game. And it was a flick of the wrist bullet over the fence in right center field last night. Key matchup for Wei-Yin Chen here today. Take a look at the Chevrolet pitch tracks for Chen, a guy that has great command of his fastball. Has a couple of varieties of breaking ball, curveball, and a slider. And he'll throw his changeup as well. But fastball command, that's the key, right? With this guy, he pours the strikes in.
You know, he's thrown more off-speed stuff this year. Last year or the year before, like almost 75% fastball.
And a little flare to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Cabrera just reaches out, serves one to right. And one of the greatest hitters in the game currently, and maybe of all time, just continues to hit.
And you think, okay, we got to work this guy away. We've got to try to limit his power. Well, you saw against O'Day last night how he can drive the ball the other way. He just took another pitch away to the opposite field. So then all of a sudden you think, well, let's see if we can come in on him. Well, you better be careful if you come in, because you'll hit it a mile.
You're just good with the base hit.
Yes.
You're good to go. That's cool.
He's only at first for now. Problem is Victor Martinez hits after Cabrera, and what a year he has had. Look at those numbers. 32 homers this year. Martinez is in the top 10 in the league in home runs. On the ground to third. Flaherty over to second to scope the easy way, and Wei-Yin Chen going in the strikes. Got the O's off to a good start. Baltimore coming up. Chen holds the Tigers scoreless in the first, and the Orioles coming up. They're loving this October baseball. Back in the postseason here in Baltimore for the second time in the last 3 years after they had a 14-year drought. 96 and 97 they were in. First time they've won a division title since that 97 season. Tough customer on the mound. He has been a top postseason performer. Justin Verlander will take the ball for the Tigers today.
I'll tell you what, much more hittable this year. You know, question marks about his arm, about his velocity. Does he need that 96, 97? I really don't think so. If you don't try to punch guys out. He had a bad year, but he still won 15 games. He's got problems against right-handed hitting. The guys are hitting .321 off of him, the right-handed hitters. But you know his postseason history, especially last year. He was lights out.
Now, Verlander's last postseason start, Game 3 of the ALCS against the Red Sox. That was in Detroit. He took a no-hitter in the 7th inning. Nick Markakis takes a strike. Same lineup for the Orioles with the exception of their catcher today, as Joseph will catch instead of Nick Hundley. Markakis, a couple of hits last night. Talented left-handed hitter in the final year of his contract. He's been a Gold Glove performer, as Joe said. He's been a pretty clutch hitter for them as well. Had 2 hits and a walk last night. He scored twice. He drove in a run. At the time, it was the go-ahead run.
Verlander's never lost here in Camden Yards, if that means anything. 7-0 here against the Orioles.
If you're the superstitious type, Tigers fans, cover your ears, earmuffs here. He's never lost at Camden Yards. He's never lost a division series game either in his career.
And one more on top of that, he's got a streak of 30 straight shutout innings working in division play too.
Oh, and by the way, he's got 66 consecutive batters faced without a walk.
Yeah.
Tigers fans going crazy.
And it's 3-1.
Sorry, had to do that for information purposes only. A 3-1 to Markakis. He took a rip, fouls it back.
We're talking about all fastballs right there. Nothing over 91. You know, as the game goes on, his velocity will go up. But he used to be able to throttle that thing, come up with a 98 out of nowhere late in the game. That doesn't happen anymore.
Well, the Orioles beat Max Scherzer yesterday. Tillman got the win, Scherzer the loss. Turning it over to Justin Verlander to try to get this series to Detroit, all tied at 1. Verlander enters this postseason having allowed just 1 run over his last 23 postseason innings. Mentioned he took the no-hitter into the 7th inning. That's a good memory to call on against the Red Sox in his last postseason game. 3 starts in the playoffs last year. Markakis got jammed, a little pop-up into center field. Rajay Davis gingerly runs that one down for out number 1. Well, you've met Markakis. Let's give you the rest of the Orioles lineup presented by T-Mobile. Alejandro de Alza's back in there. Adam Jones, the center fielder. Nelson Cruz will be the DH. Homered yesterday. And then you got Steve Pearce, J.J. Hardy, and Ryan Flaherty over at third. Caleb Joseph will get the call behind the plate for Showalter and Jonathan Scope, who drove in a couple of runs late last night as well. Hits 9th. This is an Orioles ball club that led all of baseball in home runs this season. De Alza into right. Hunter came in, now going back, and he'll track it down for out number 2.
Tigers made a couple of errors last night that were very costly in the 8th inning, but prior to that, they played some good defense. They got good plays from Martinez and Castellanos. And Ian Kinsler, only 9 errors all year long at second base for Detroit. A much improved spot for them defensively, and they are really touting him for a Gold Glove. And I said 9, make it 8.
Now you think about guys like Dustin Pedroia, Robinson, Cano. Pedroia's been the gold standard defensively at second base. But you're right, Brad Ausmus, the Tigers press covers him every day. They feel like he's been a Gold Glove caliber player this year. Adam Jones takes strike 1. Well, Jones last night was one of the few Orioles to not have a hit. He was 0 for 5. He reached on an error. He did steal a base and score a run. And Jones now 2 for 31 in his postseason career, so he made it in 2012. You got to wonder if that's weighing on him a little bit. He's a big part of what the Orioles do offensively. Swings at a lot of first pitches. He hit 29 home runs during the regular season.
It's almost back change up there by Verlander after nothing but fastballs to that point.
And in his career, I mean, his curveball's always been so good. It's like it's the pitch that gets him back in sync if he's struggling a little bit with his command. He'll break out that big hook when he's ready.
He's not afraid throwing his fastball, even though he's not throwing very hard.
I'm not used to seeing 91.
Cruising speed for Verlander, going with a breaking ball here, and Jones takes it high. I beg your pardon, that was a fastball. And it's 2-2.
Tried to paint there down the way, humped up a little bit, but his velocity will go up as he goes along. It's nice that he doesn't have to throw a lot of off-speed stuff the first time around. We've seen a couple of changeups, but that's it.
2 quick outs for Verlander.
Fastball again.
And a half swing, he goes, unable to check it, and Jones is out. 3 up, 3 down for Justin Verlander. Off and running in Baltimore. Buck Showalter and the Orioles begins a great day of baseball here in the Beltway. Got the Nationals and the Giants in action today as well, as we take a look at today's forecaster presented by Voya Financial. Day baseball, the Orioles 44% of the time they win, so they have not been a great day baseball team this year. Does that mean anything to you guys at this point in the postseason?
Not a whole lot. It might. Maybe that's something that Buck took in consideration when, with this early turnaround, he didn't have his team hit on the field. They hit in the cages underneath. Had a relaxed morning.
I don't think it means anything. This is the postseason.
Yeah.
Tigers were in standard practice, full batting practice, as J.D. Martinez fouls that one away as he begins this second inning.
Dennis, I liked what you said in our opening comments about this feeling like an elimination game, because nobody in a short series wants to go down 2-0. And with the experience Verlander has, he's the right guy for this call.
Oh, totally. And they've been there before, Detroit. I mean, but you look at it over history, you get down 2-0. It's not real good.
And only 5 times in the divisional era has a team down 2-0 come back to win that series. Last done by the Giants in 2012 on their way to the World Series. 1-2 to J.D. Martinez, and down he goes. A strikeout for Chen. Couple of Ks for Wei-Yin Chen. We have put a microphone on Bud Norris, who'll be one of the starters in this series. Some of his thoughts early today.
Not really nervous. I was like, last night I was like, I just want to be a fan. I just want to just watch and soak it up. That was my first playoff game. So I was nervous, bro. Were you?
Inside tracks with Bud Norris. Talking to Miguel Gonzalez. They're going to be the next 2 starters for the Baltimore Orioles if this goes 4. And you got to love his comments. I think there are a lot of guys like that with the Orioles playing in their first postseason.
He's just being honest if you think about it. He said he just wanted to be a fan. That tells me he didn't feel like pitching last night. Yeah, right? It's the first time. I mean, it's a little different.
Even though Showalter said both of those guys would be available out of the bullpen, you didn't really get that sense.
No, you didn't.
With those comments. So we appreciate Bud wearing the mic. There's a swing and a miss. As Nick Castellanos goes down 0-2 on Wei-Yin Chen.
Some bad swings early on at that breaking ball, not even getting to the plate. What is that? They're not picking it up?
Again, the prevailing report, scouting report on Chen is tough to pick up, very deceptive. Don't see the ball out of his hand real well. And he will go up there, and he doesn't mind going upstairs to get outs.
Castellanos and Alex Avila flip-flop in the batting order here today. Yesterday it was Castellanos hitting 7th. He's back in the 6th spot. This is where he was most of the time this year. And the 1-2 is down and in. Castellanos takes it, and leaving it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The big difference this year for Chen is his control. I mean, that's amazing what he's done. 35 walks in 185 innings. Get the ball in the yard, I'd say. 23 home runs. Hasn't given up home run in about a month. But 23 is not bad pitching here.
Got to take that in consideration.
And that one's into center field. Adam Jones blows the bubble, makes the catch.
Chen got off to a slow start. He had a bad finish. He lost his last 2 starts, but in between he won 16 ball games. So his work in the middle of the season, not bad.
Well, they scored him a ton of runs, not to take anything away from him. His slot had a lot of runs, and you know how that is. I know how that is.
Yeah.
You get in the wrong slot, I don't care how good you pitch.
Chen, 29 years of age, career high in wins and ERA this year. Out of Taiwan, he pitched in Japan for the Chunichi Dragons before he arrived here to the States. That was in 2012 when he made his debut with the Baltimore Orioles. Had some injury problems last year, a couple of injuries, had knee surgery following the season last season, also dealt with mid-season oblique problems. And he started 23 games last year, but he's come back. He has been a workhorse, pushing nearly 190 innings this season. As Alex Avila takes a ball low. This is another batter for the Tigers that the Orioles will put a shift on.
It's a little unusual in this regard that lefty versus lefty, sometimes a left-handed hitter will not pull the ball as much. It's pretty obvious to the Orioles that that's all Alex is trying to do.
Avila standing right on top of the plate. And Chen got him to swing. Didn't want to, but unable to check it. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Alex Avila.
He could probably do anything he wants right here. He could chase that fastball, throw a breaking ball in the dirt.
It was the second inning yesterday where the Tigers struck after Tillman had struck out the side of the first. Those back-to-back homers quieted down this crowd. Anything but here this afternoon. They're on their feet already. Looking for a strikeout. 2-strike pitch in the air, center field. Jones right there. No problem. Quick and efficient. Way in Chen. 2 scoreless in the books. It's time for Records and Milestones presented by Jim Beam. And you put yourself in a category with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and even Carlos Beltran. You've done something. How about Nelson Cruz? His slugging percentage all time in the postseason. Last night Cruz homered. He tied Carlos Beltran with 15 home runs. That's the most. First 35 games in the postseason. For more records and milestones, go to BleacherReport.com. What a postseason performer he has been, and he has done major damage to the Detroit Tigers. Take it back to the 2011 ALCS when Cruz was a member of the Rangers, and he got him quickly last night with a home run in the first inning, a 2-run shot. Led the American League in home runs this season, led all of baseball as a matter of fact with 40. Drove in 108. He was 3rd in the AL in RBIs this year.
Everybody thinks this ballpark made him hit 40 home runs. No, he's hit more home runs on the road.
Verlander.
Jim Presley told me yesterday that one of the things that Nelson Cruz did, even though he's having this great year, he struggled a little bit coming out of the gate in the second half after the All-Star break. And then in the last 8 days, they went to an open stance after Presley noticed in some old video that he had an open stance. Nelson tried it his first at bat. He hit a home run and said, I'm going to stick with this. And in the even in the last week to 10 days, he's made an adjustment.
It looks like there's a whole lot of room in there if you're Justin Verlander. He's frightening. Stands off the plate a little bit.
You got to go in there on. To me, you've got to go in.
Yeah, Verlander gets a big swing and a miss.
That's a nasty 3-1 slider. You talk about pitching backwards. 3-1 breaking ball. That's how.
Full count. See what he has in mind here. And a called strike 3. Verlander back with the heat. He caught him by surprise. Cruz thought it was ball 4. Instead, it is back-to-back Ks for Justin Verlander.
Well, that's when pitching was pitching right there. 3-run slider off the plate. He goes after, then he paints him with a 93, one of his best fastballs up to this point. He kind of came back on the corner, just barely got the call.
You see, it was just a little off the plate, but Alex Avila did a great job of framing that, stealing that strike for him.
He's one of the best in the big leagues doing just that, framing pitches, calling a game, blocking pitches. And Verlander starts Steve Pearce with a breaking ball, nasty slider. You can almost see in the velocity Verlander, who's got his attention, right? Some guys 91, 92,
Yeah.
and then you get Cruz up there, and he's pumping 93, 94. And on the hands and fouled away as Pierce falls behind 0-2.
That may have hurt him a little bit. Did the ball foul tip off his leg because it was running in on him?
Lucky he didn't drill him in the hands.
Yeah.
You see what they're trying to do to Pierce. They're trying to crowd him because he can go out there and flip that ball.
Well, Pierce has been dealing with a sore right wrist, something that cropped up in mid-September. He returned last Wednesday after he received a cortisone shot in that wrist, a right wrist. He's known as a very good fastball hitter, and he gets a slider here, a little roll over to short, and Romine with a nice play for out number 2. Good for Romine to get a ball early, make a good play on after he committed an error yesterday that opened the floodgates for the Orioles. He like to get that first one out of the way. Thought of as a very good defensive shortstop. Committed one of the 2 errors in that 8th inning last night.
Nobody picked him up. I mean, it was really ridiculous after that. Floodgates open. You can't just blame one play on that. The pitchers have got to help them out.
And speaking of defensive shortstops, the Gold Glove Award winner at the position the last couple of years, J.J. Hardy, will bat with 2 outs. Launched a home run to left center last night. That was in the 7th inning. That led off the 7th inning. And at the time, it gave the Orioles a 2-run cushion. That was prior to Cabrera going deep to make it a 1-run game in the 8th.
You could see there that Verlander's feeling pretty good. Mechanics pretty crisp.
Working fast.
Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Hardy, a little jam shot that's caught in the air, and the inning is over. Verlander rolling early, 6 up, 6 down, a couple of strikeouts. Wei-Yin Chen back on the bump. We head to the 3rd. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. What a beautiful scene here. Camden Yards, Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Good day to do a lot of things today. Enjoy a ball game. Do a little flying up above. Wei-Yin Chen back to work. Andrew Romine will start the inning. Chen's only allowed 1 base runner. That was a single to right by Miguel Cabrera. And a strike to the Tigers shortstop. Chen coming off a 3 up, 3 down inning. He has a couple of Ks in this game. 2 hits yesterday for Romine. Tigers acquired Romine from the Angels this spring. They were hoping that Jose Iglesias would be their everyday shortstop and hope that to be the case for the future. Iglesias out with stress fractures, both shins. Dave Dombrowski sitting next to his son Landon there. He's had to rework a lot of these pieces. There's a bouncer over to 3rd base. Flaherty makes the play. And out number 1. Chen keeps rolling. Going to be a great day of Major League Baseball, postseason baseball. Suspense continues later today on Fox Sports 1. Giants at Nationals. That's Jake Peavy against Steven Strasburg. Matt Vasgersian and John Smoltz will call that at 3 p.m. And then you got Joe Buck, Tom Verducci, and Harold Reynolds calling the Cardinals and the Dodgers. 6:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. What a matchup there. Wainwright and Kershaw.
That's a classic.
1 away. Here is Rajai Davis. He's one of the key pieces in this series and in this postseason. As Jamie reported before we started the game today, Davis is dealing with an injury. It's a bit of an unusual injury, lower abdominal sprain, more towards the left side, and Davis is trying to play through it. It hurts him on the quick startups when he slides into bags or tries to bust it out of the box. And Joe, he's a speed player.
It's one of the
That's a big part of his game.
One of the fastest players in the American League. So to lose him or to lose his strength is crucial.
0-2 pitch. And fouls it back. Chen keeps pouring in the strikes.
You can loosen up, you can stretch, you can take batting practice, but until you get into game activity, game action, where you've got to make that quick twitch reaction to run out of the box, that's when you know if you're okay or not. Or in his case, to break on a line drive.
I thought Jamie made a good point before the game act, because you could see clearly that he was uncomfortable yesterday. They actually pinch hit for him late in the game just to try to get him off his feet. It was a late decision whether to have him in the lineup today.
They just don't like any alternatives is what it comes down to. They'll take 80% of him is what it comes down to.
Now, there aren't many moving parts, are there, with Brad Ausmus in his first year as a skipper of the Tigers. He's inherited a great ball club. He knows that, and you got a lot of star power with this team, but the lineup rarely changes.
Yeah, they haven't got enough depth, for a club that's supposed to win it all.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that one's into right center. Markakis will close easily. And Rajay Davis is out, number 2.
What I see when I watch Davis run is that he's trying to make it look like everything's okay, but that left side, the left leg, is not able to extend and propel him like his right leg is.
Well, for a player like Davis, who had more stolen bases by himself this year than the Tigers did all of last year as a team, and a guy who plays center field, there's a little hitch in the giddy up.
And he's a guy when he could steal a base even when you know he's stealing.
Yeah,
one of those guys.
Chen with 2 quick outs, top of the order, second time through now as Ian Kinsler, who popped up to second his first time up. And the shift is on again for Kinsler.
Tigers were good against left-handed pitching. 28-22 seasonal record, but up and down their lineup, loaded with 300 hitters for the year against lefties.
And a shot. Oh, what a catch by Chen! Look what I found. And a little snow cone at that. It got back to it faster than it went in. Fortunate there. Sticks the glove out and takes a hit away from Ian Kinsler. What a play. Man, oh man. 3 up, 3 down for Chen.
Welcome back to Baltimore, where we are scoreless. There doesn't appear to be much of a storied rivalry between the Tigers and Orioles, but here is a fun historical note for you. The final game played at Memorial Stadium in 1991 was actually between, you guessed it, the Tigers and Orioles. Now, the Tigers did win that game. The final was 7-1, but that didn't stop the city of Baltimore from celebrating the transition from the old park to the new. They had lots of Orioles greats on hand, and appropriately enough, the last Orioles pitch at Memorial Stadium thrown out by longtime Oriole Mike Flanagan. That ball, along with other relics, can be found at the Sports Legends Museum right here at Camden Yards. Very cool and worth checking out, guys.
Yeah, no question. The birthplace of Babe Ruth. It's the 60th anniversary of the Orioles back in Baltimore as Verlander faces Flaherty to start the inning. That pole there is from the original pole from Memorial Stadium. 1954 foul pole. And Joe, can you think of anything else that is celebrating its 60th anniversary today? Or anyone else?
See, and I thought you were going to say, were you there for that 54
changed
foul
everything
pole?
if that ball came up here.
So happy birthday, Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah.
60 years of age, man, and you still got the sweet moss and the sweet stash and the sweet tan working. It's amazing.
It's funny, every time I see 54, I cringe because I know this is it, and it's coming, and it finally came here, and I was hoping we'd have an off day. But we're playing, you know?
Not a chance.
Join us in wishing Eck a happy birthday. The Hall of Famer As Verlander falls behind 3-1. Oh, very cool. How about that? Is that you? The old Pirates?
I used to go bridge when I was at. Huh?
Go bridge.
Look, I'm like I'm left-handed. It's not happening.
Through the years with Dennis Eckersley. All right. Nicely done. 3-1 pitch. And Flaherty fouls this one back as well. 3-2 now.
See, what's hard is when you look at some of those cards and realize that they're 40 years old.
It's not one of the most exciting birthdays you really want to go through.
It's not one that
50
I enjoyed.
was cool. 50 was cool. 60 is not cool at all.
Oh, you're still cool, man. You're the coolest cat in town, I promise. Payoff pitch from Verlander. Flaherty hanging tough. Now the Orioles have a couple of patches on their sleeves to recognize the 60th anniversary here in Baltimore, and the Tom Clancy patch as well, who passed away a little over a year ago. The famous author, best-selling author, and a Baltimore native, former minority owner of the O's. And, great pieces of work. Hunt for Red October, Clear and Present Danger. So he's recognized on the sleeves as well. Ground ball to Kinsler. So a long battle there. Verlander fell behind Flaherty, but gets him on a 4-3 ground out, and 7 in a row to start this game for Justin Verlander.
Verlander's got a couple of 3-ball counts so far in this game. He hasn't walked a guy in quite some time coming into this game. It doesn't really matter. That was part of the regular season, but
one thing I think
not an issue.
that I think does matter is that you mentioned that he's undefeated in this ballpark, but he's held the Orioles to a .208 batting average against him here, and in this ballpark you can hold somebody down. That's huge given the friendly confines.
Caleb Joseph, his first postseason appearance. Orioles lost Matt Wieters at the end of May. Didn't play much at all this season. Tommy John surgery for the star catcher, Gold Glove Award winner. So they've been piecing it together with Steve Clevenger first. Joseph has emerged as a potential everyday catcher. Last night it was Nick Hundley, who Dan Duquette acquired via trade with the Padres.
He hasn't swung very good, but I tell you what, he got hot one week. He hit 5 home runs.
Yeah, you're right about his struggles lately, and I think that probably had a little bit to do with him not starting last night. Also, Buck Showalter told us that Hundley catches Tillman, and that's a good hookup for those two. Meanwhile, Joseph and Chen seem to hook up well. But Joseph finished the season without a hit in his final 33 plate appearances. That's a long offer.
He's got a long swing is what he's got.
Excellent defensive catcher. And he gets the draw of Justin Verlander for game 2 of this series. Joseph, Hundley, Clevenger, the 3 that trying to replace Matt Wieters. Clevenger early, recently Hundley and Joseph. And a called strike 3. Verlander gets the edge.
He's getting that corner, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, that's nasty. 94-mile-an-hour black on the black. Almost like a little crossfire. Pulling it out right there, a little outside, but I got to have it. And he got it.
That is Scott Berry calling the balls and strikes, and Verlander is just inching further and further away on that corner, and he has gotten the calls. And the ring up makes it 8 in a row. That's his 3rd strikeout. And with 2 outs, Jonathan Scope, the Orioles 9-hole hitter. He's built like a cleanup hitter, not a second baseman and a 9th place hitter. And believe me, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark as well. He's got some pop. 16 homers during the regular season.
Starting him off with a nasty hook. He gets that thing going. I mean, this guy, when he's got it going, nasty hook, slider, fastball in the corner, changeup. He's got it all. I mean, he doesn't need 96.
It's funny. Tillman started at 95 and worked his way down. Verlander started at 91 and he's working his way up.
Good point. And he's got this crowd, this sellout crowd, very quiet. Pop up behind the plate. Not a lot of room back there. Avila down the netting, and It'll bounce into the seats.
One of the things Brad Osmus told us before the ball game was that the quick turnaround the last couple of starts for Verlander was mostly about command with his fastball. This afternoon already, he is hitting that spot. He's going to that same spot, and he's getting a call on it. If he didn't have good command working, he'd probably be missing a little bit.
Scope in an 0-2 hole. And a shot back up the middle, hits the base and into center field. A base hit, the first of the day for the Orioles. And it comes from their 9-hole hitter, Jonathan Scope.
I got a little carried away with that fastball away, you know, facing a guy that'll swing at anything. Nice piece of hitting, but the ball's up, got part of the plate, base hit up the middle for Scope. But you'd think he would bury something 0-2, but you get confidence in throwing that fastball like we just talked about away. You think you could dot anybody away anytime, but that guy is a guy that'll fish at anything.
Orioles do not run much as a team. It's not a team that will steal bases, but they do have some speed. Doesn't translate into the stolen base numbers, but they sit back and wait for the big inning, and that's what we saw last night as Markakis takes a ball up and away. First time Verlander pitching out of the stretch. Second time through the order.
Markakis has yet to see an off-speed pitch.
Markakis a little late, fouls it off to the left. Now we ask you, where will you be the next time history is made? Can be there for all of the action in 2015. Just go to MLB.com/season tickets to reserve your seat today. Verlander's been a part of some history. Got a couple of no-hitters. He has won an MVP award. We'll see Clayton Kershaw a little later today. He's got a chance to win the MVP this year. MVP and Cy Young Award. Just like our buddy Dennis Eckersley did back in the 90s. The 1-1 way inside, almost hit him. Just missed that lead elbow.
I say he tried to get this fastball in. He didn't want to leave it there. 0-2. Nice little purpose pitch.
Yeah. And you have to get some hitters' feet moving a little bit, get them off the inner part of the plate.
And that means a little more to Nick Markakis. He was knocked out of the postseason after being hit by a pitch in 2012. He was also hit by a pitch a couple of weeks ago, and he missed 3 games.
Where's that?
Oh, it looked like a good pitch on our pitch tracks. Verlander not happy with Scott Berry.
You talk about give it and take it away, and that's, yeah, he took it away right there, but he gave him one earlier, so. But that had the corner.
Yeah, right there. Not where you catch it, where it crosses the plate.
He's yet to throw Markakis 2 at bats at anything else other than a fastball. It's amazing.
3-1. Markakis fouls this one into the seats. That's twice now. 2 at-bats. Markakis has been in a hitter count. He's been in 3-1 counts twice today against Verlander. Verlander got him to fly out to center field in the first inning.
He's basically pitched them away. Both at bats. Just fired that one ball in this at bat.
And immediately went away with the next pitch that he just missed on. Well, actually didn't get the call on it.
Alejandro De Aza is next. Scoreboard here at Camden Yards imploring the sellout crowd to make some noise. They didn't have any trouble with that last night. 3-2 pitch, runner goes. Markakis fouls another one away. Just can't quite catch up.
Tried to get that ball in, but it ran back over. Ball's up a little bit, but just feeding nothing but gas.
Full count. 2 outs. Scope will be on the move with the pitch. Anything in a gap or down the line. Got a chance to score. There he goes. That ball's driven right field. Hunter turns and watches this one go. A home run. Markakis. A 2-run shot. And the Orioles are on the board first.
Brad Osmus wants to make sure that ball cleared the fence and right field.
I definitely think it did.
I thought it did too. I thought it hit that curbing back there behind that little roof line.
That was a bullet. That was a bullet. How many fastballs did he throw Markakis? My goodness.
Might take a look at this one. Now, this is not a challenge scenario. This would be considered a boundary call, which the crew chief, who Osmus is talking with now, Jeff Kellogg, they can go check it out. I don't think there's any question it hit that top flat part of the wall. Once it clears the padding, though, it is a home run. This will be a good look at it. This is what they'll be looking at in New York in the replay challenge control room.
Randy Marsh, one of the umpiring supervisors, met with us before the game to go over the ground rules, and he said this is the one spot that gives umpires the most trouble. Now that one, wow, didn't clear.
No, it looks like it hit the pole of the doorway out there.
Yeah,
and this is going to be an interesting call here, because that would have certainly cleared the padding part, which is what is the ground rule. Now, is that pole part of the top of the padding? That's going to be the question here.
Yeah, my first look, I thought it was over. I thought it hit the top of that thing, but on second look, it looked like it hit that little pole.
Yeah, I thought it hit the back of that roof,
but I don't think it did.
But it didn't. It did not get on top
of
it.
That fence. See?
This play under review presented by Samsung.
Because it comes back, are they going to say that it's not over that fence? It is so close.
This is going to be a close one to call. Now, it's out of the umpire's hands here on the field.
Don't you think that's out of the ballpark?
Look right at that gate. The pole that holds the gate right there.
Yeah. So the determination is going to be, is that part of the top part, the flat part of the wall for the walkway, or is that part of the padding of the fence?
And if they rule that it is not a home run, where are they going to place the runners?
That's the other part.
Right.
This is all this particular replay system has been in for the last few years on these boundary calls.
That angle's a little different. Like, it looked like it went over the fence, but how could it come back in play if it went over the fence?
That's a good point. It had to hit something hard there, like that pole.
It would have pitched forward, you're saying, if it
yes.
hit. I get that's a good point. So the crew chief there is Jeff Kellogg. He's on your left. The calling umpire,
what a huge
Paul
call
Schreiber,
this is.
who is the right field umpire who made the home run call. And they're in communication with the Replay Challenge Center in Chelsea, New York. And there is an umpire assigned to this game. There are multiple umpires and supervisors in that control room. And they're going to be the ones who make this decision. And the decision is coming. Home run.
It hit the other side of the fence.
So Nick Markakis confirmed as a home run. A couple of hits last night, and after fastball from Verlander, he turned around his best heater of the day.
You know, Joe, he threw him in. Remember, he tried to bury him in on an 0-2 pitch and fed him nothing but fastballs. He got the head out, and it doesn't surprise me at all.
He fouled all those balls off to the left, but he got something a little more center cut. and got the barrel on it.
It's a third Baltimore home run of this series. First home run allowed by Verlander in 32 division series innings. We had that long streak going of scoreless innings in the division series. Never lost in the division series.
You think he would have featured one off-speed pitch and 2 at-bats?
Piazza batting with 2 away. The 2-out story, Joe, has been big for the Orioles so far in this series. They had a great day yesterday, of course. That home run by Markakis, a 2-run shot with 2 outs. So they're now 8 for 17 with 2 homers, 9 RBIs with 2 outs in the first game plus 3 innings of this division series. Piazza in the air, left field. J.D. Martinez is there, and that will retire the side, but a big blast for Markakis.
And one last note on the homer. Remember, it looked like he had him struck out earlier in the count, too.
Instead, it goes to review. It is confirmed, and the O's have the lead. '14 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. And between innings, still looking at that play. It's going to be talked about. It went to a challenge. Nick Markakis with his first career postseason home run. Brad Ausmus came back out between innings to discuss it further with the umpiring crew. As Torrey Hunter leads off, and there's a strike from Chen. But we've been able to blow it up a little bit, so it didn't actually hit the pole of the door. It actually hit the back wall, and this will make more sense when we give you a look at what it looks like back there. And that's what he's saying. The home plate umpire Scott Berry saying it's just recessed a little bit from the actual fence as Torrey Hunter lines one into center field, a base hit.
They need that.
Second hit for the Tigers. So
Yeah,
guys, this is the shot that makes sense.
This is the shot.
See the beveled edge of that roof line too, that probably helped.
Yeah, that's over the fence. It's exactly, that padded pole there is over the fence.
And that clears it up, and the right call was made, and the Orioles strike first once again. It was a Nelson Cruz 2-run homer yesterday in the first inning that put the Orioles on top. But now Chen has to deal with the power of this Tigers lineup. Cabrera bats with a man at first. And just once again, that is not a challenge. There's a crew chief review on a boundary call, so Brad Ausmus still has a managerial challenge in his pocket that he can use. As Cabrera launches, that had the sound. That is way back. Jones on the run, and it's off the wall. Hunter on his way to third will stop there. Cabrera lumbers into second and is just safe. A ringing double by Miguel Cabrera. Bangs it off the center field fence, and the Tigers are in business here in the fourth.
Just the wrong part of the ballpark. You see this ball. Look how high this ball is. I think it's a high changeup. This ball is about letter high. He drives this ball. I thought the ball's gone. I thought everything he hits like that is out of here. Hits halfway off the fence. And he had to get on his horse to get to second base. You think about it.
Now watch him. He'll try to slap the ball out of Scope's glove. Having fun along the way.
Well, that was played beautifully by Adam Jones in center field as well. Not only keeping Hunter from scoring, but he had a chance at an out with Cabrera running into second base. So it's second and third, nobody out. And here is Victor Martinez.
It's Miguel pointing at, trying to get the attention of Dave Clark, I think.
Dave Clark, the third base coach, he's barking out orders to his base runners, telling Cabrera to freeze on the line drive.
Yeah, well, Miguel might want to know with the infield back, is he going on contact? And if he is, especially to the right side, I don't want to break for third base and have him still stand there.
Exactly.
Ball and no strikes. Victor Martinez, and a swing and a miss. Got one under his hands. 1-1 the count. Chen's had a good breaking ball today thus far.
You should have thrown Cabrera a breaking ball down in the dirt. That high changeup was a cookie, wasn't it?
Well, this is where he has excelled this year, batting behind Cabrera when teams pitched around him. This time he's got both Cabrera and Hunter on in front of him.
He's got his hands full this inning.
Second and third. Nobody out. Tigers trying to answer, and Martinez takes a ball. And now you're falling behind 2-1.
That guy right there is so good. And talking to Buck Showalter before the ballgame, he was calling him the monster. He said he's just a monster.
Totally. He's a monster anywhere, but he's really a monster in this ballpark.
Yep.
Back-to-back MVPs, won the Triple Crown a couple of years ago. He has set the Tigers up for an inning here as Victor Martinez takes the ball down and in. 3-1 the count. Could have gone either way. That's a tight zone.
Doesn't like that down and in zone.
No,
they give it the other side, not that side. I think he called that ball low.
Well, it's consistent with the call he did not give Verlander last inning.
Markakis.
Yeah.
Hitters count for Victor Martinez. And a ground ball is going to sneak through. A base hit. Hunter is in. And Cabrera will stop at third. So an RBI single for Victor Martinez, and the Tigers answer quickly.
Everything was going so well for Chin, and this inning just filled up with base hits. 3-1 pitch right there. Finds the hole between third and short. Jumps on it, top spin. Cabrera obviously can't score on that. He holds up, nobody out.
371 average against lefties this year for Victor Martinez.
You know, and the Tigers overall as a team just dominated left-handed pitching this year. They led all of baseball in batting average, led by Victor Martinez. They led the American League in slugging percentage and led all of baseball in on-base percentage against left-handed pitching. And the second time through the batting order against Wei-Yin Chen has not gone well, and that ball's hit high and deep left field. J.D. Martinez goes deep again, and just like that, the Tigers are on top. Two postseason games in his career, 2 home runs for J.D. Martinez. 4 on the board before there is an out here in the 4th inning.
Well, J.D. Martinez, he's been money for these Tigers all year long. He gets an off-speed pitch and just launches it. They had the bullpen working right before that pitch. I said they're not going to let this game get out of hand, but one pitch later, this is a 4-2 game. This ball was gone easy.
Boy, and Miguel Cabrera, he's pumping his fist at his own dugout. Got to home plate, took his helmet off. He looked like he was taunting some of the Baltimore fans, and boy, did they break out on him.
Cabrera has been jawing all the way around. Friendly jawing, not so friendly jawing, either way. And it was his double that set up the inning off the wall. So Wei-Yin Chen giving up a quick 4 here. Martinez, Victor with an RBI single, and then J.D. a 3-run home run. 4-2 Tigers. Here is Nick Castellanos. He swings at the first pitch. That ball's got some carry. Markakis looks up, and there she goes. Nick Castellanos goes deep. Back-to-back home runs for the 2nd consecutive day for Detroit.
I'll tell you what, the Tigers flex their muscles right there. You talk about 5 consecutive hits, back-to-back bombs. Anything in the air, you get just look at this pitch, up, out, over. He just lifts it, gets it in the air, and this ball carries right out of here.
You see the crossover attempt to catch it by Joseph. Missed location, missed badly, and left it up.
The rookie, Nick Castellanos. You got a couple of guys in J.D. Martinez and Castellanos playing in their first postseason and delivering back-to-back homers in a span of 2 pitches. This game has completely turned from a 2-1 Orioles lead. 2 pitches later, it's 5-2 Detroit. Alex Avila, still nobody out. 4 consecutive hits to start the inning. And you think about the second time through the order, Joe. Remember, Ian Kinsler hit a bullet back to the mound for the final out of the 3rd inning.
Well, again, 300 averages all through the lineup against left-handed pitching. And talked about Kinsler and Hunter needing to kind of set the table. And Hunter got this inning started with a rifle shot to center. It probably stirred them all up a little bit after falling behind 2-0.
This is the pitch we really didn't get a good look at. This is the breaking ball right down the middle. And he lifts and separates. That ball is way back. You don't overcome 3-run bombs.
Activity in the Baltimore bullpen. Gosman, who's been a starter this year for the Orioles. And we might see him shortly. Big smile for rookie Nick Castellanos. It was his bat that gave the Tigers confidence to make a trade, trading away Prince Fielder to get Kinsler to clear some room for Castellanos, moving Cabrera over to first base. 3-2 to Alex Avila. Andrew Romine waits to hit next. 5 consecutive hits to start the 4th inning. And Avila cuts and misses. Down he goes on strikes. Wei-Yin Chen needed that in a big way. That's his 3rd strikeout and the 1st out of the 4th inning.
Well, he just slips a high fastball by Avila. Can't hold up. Took a while to get that 1st out of this inning. You're talking about a lunch job to 5 hitters in a row.
And it's very much the way they answered yesterday after the 2-run homer by Cruz in the 1st inning, coming back with the 2 back-to-back homers by the Martinez guys. And answering again today.
And a ground ball, one shortstop to the other. Hardy will make the play for out number 2. They're still talking about it over there. I'll tell you what, watching J.D. Martinez over the last few months and then here in this postseason, this guy is a worker. You see him in the cage. He's, at least the last 2 days, he's been the first guy in the cage underneath before the regular batting practice. Down there working hard and working on his stroke. Wally Joyner.
Well, he's got something special going on this year.
He sure does.
He's been a huge key. The Tigers had serious questions about the 5th spot in their batting order when the season started as Rajay Davis lines one left field line. That is a fair ball. Davis not running, and he's going to settle for a single.
He didn't even run down the first baseline, Brian. I mean, he didn't start running till he was halfway to first.
That's enough.
And that is going to do it for Wei-Yin Chen. So Buck Showalter, with the top of the order coming up, will take the ball from his left-hander. He was fantastic through the first 3 innings. It has all fallen apart here in the 4th. Kevin Gossman coming in for the O's. Will take a timeout. Beautiful shot downtown Baltimore, the inner harbor, and the Tigers doing damage here in the 4th inning. 5 runs are in. And during this break here with the pitching change, Rajay Davis has been lifted for a pinch runner. The base hit for Davis, and now watch him run out of the box, clearly hobbling. And Brad Ausmus went ahead and made the change with a 5-2 lead and Verlander on the mound. That's a ball that Davis always ends up at second base on. That's a single for him, and Ausmus makes the move, and Ezekiel Carrera, the rookie outfielder, will come up and will pinch run and will remain in the game in center field for Davis.
I mean, we've seen this the whole time. Nothing's really changed, right? I mean, he didn't do anything on that certain run that he hadn't done any differently. I think now he just took him out, give him a breather, got tomorrow off.
And it wasn't like he thought he hit a home run, was in his trot either. Numbers on Gausman, 20 games as a starter.
First relief appearance for Kevin Gausman since September of 2013. So a little over a year since he's pitched out of the bullpen. Trying to get the final out of this fourth inning. This is the 9th batter of the inning for the Tigers.
This guy's got a great fastball, good changeup.
Pours one in at 96 miles an hour. See what he features at. Kevin Gausman. And the Orioles are hoping he'll pitch a little up with velocity out of the bullpen.
Well, that fastball's there. This kid's got lightning. They like him a lot. They put him in the rotation, but like you said, last year they brought him up to get a taste up here. He's had trouble with that third pitch.
Those a couple of different change-ups. Has a forkball as part of his change of pace pitches. He last pitched on September 25th. He was the starting pitcher for the Derek Jeter walk-off game, Derek Jeter's final game at Yankee Stadium. That was a Gausman start. And one of the great nights in baseball history. Derek Jeter able to provide the walk-off base hit in his final game in pinstripes.
Boy, it got away from Chen in a hurry. They couldn't get the bullpen up fast enough. 2 pitches, 2 bombs.
How many pitches, Brian? 5 runs?
Yeah, 5 runs scored in a 10-pitch window. First 5 batters of the inning. There goes Carrera. There's a strike call. Throw to second. Ball pops out of Schoop's glove. Would have been close. Joseph thought of as a good catch and throw backstop. And Carrera steals second base.
He gets a pretty good jump right here. And the pitch down and in to Kinsler. Not a bad throw by Joseph. Couldn't get the tag down.
2.0 on average for Joseph to second base. That's really quick.
2-2 the count, 2 outs. Kinsler trying to keep the attack on for the Tigers. What an answer. Markakis, a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, giving the Orioles the lead. This place was jumping, and the Tigers come right back. Started with a Torrey Hunter single. Back-to-back homers, J.D. Martinez and Castellanos. And Kinsler takes ball 3. 98 with that fastball.
This kid could light it up. You know, as a starter, he doesn't get it up that high. If she goes out there for a couple innings, that's what you're going to see.
And he's amped up. His first appearance.
And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. He went back to the fastball. And the inning is over. The Orioles put 8 on the board last night in the 8th. The Tigers with a big inning of their own. How about a 5 spot? J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos go back to back. It's 5-2. Let's take a look at today's playmakers presented by the all-new Chrysler 200. And you want to talk about run support and Justin Verlander. This is a big one here. Justin Verlander in his career when receiving 5 or more runs, 111-2 is his record.
Probably a good thing the Orioles can't see that graphic right now.
And Verlander just got 5 runs in the 4th inning as the Tigers score 5 runs on 6 hits. The 2 home runs from J.D. Martinez and Nick Castellanos. Well, what a start he's off to in this postseason, J.D. Martinez, man. All right, how will the Orioles respond as Adam Jones leads off?
You don't know how great a feeling that is as a pitcher to give up a 2-run bomb like that. You know, in the postseason, it almost feels like, oh my goodness, we lost this game. You know, and then you come back out there, you got a 3-run lead. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, Verlander last year, we talked about how great he was in the postseason last year. He only gave up 1 run. That was a home run to Mike Napoli in Game 3 of the ALCS. That was a 1-0 loss. Verlander only got 3 runs in his 3 postseason starts last year from the Tigers offense. He just got 5 in the 4th inning.
I'll tell you, he's gotten a lot of run support this year to have a 4.5 ERA and win 15 ball games. He's had some problems with some shutdown innings himself this year. But that track record says it all.
One of the things that stuck out about his work against Baltimore, and granted it was again very early in the season, but he made 2 starts against him, went 1-1, but he struck out only 7 in 14 innings, so that might have been a sign of things to come. Today he's already fanned 3, but for Verlander, that's not many strikeouts over a 2-start stretch against one team.
And I think that's the change that he's made, consciously made, since he's come back from that. He took that 1 start off, and he's come back, and he's not worried about punching people out, just trying to win.
Adam Jones delivers with a base hit. On a 2-2 count, Jones with a 2-strike hit to get it started for the O's. Now, moments ago between innings, we had a chance to catch up with Detroit Tigers pitching coach Jeff Jones. Well, Jeff, I guess sometimes the best pitching coaching is to unleash your Tigers offense. That was quite a display. And now talk us through Verlander going back on the mound here with a lead.
Well, obviously you want to hold him down. This is a big shutdown inning for us. And yeah, we answered pretty nicely there. But it's a great team we're playing against, and you can never take them lightly.
You know, you got Verlander out that missed the start. Then he had a couple good starts at the end of the season, right, against Kansas City and Chicago. You know, everybody's talking about velocity. I mean, he doesn't have to have 97, 98 to win, right?
Absolutely not. He's got he's got 4 quality pitches that he can throw for strikes, and he's showing it today. He's just a great pitcher. His intensity is tremendous in these situations, and we're very comfortable with him on the mound.
And you can understand why. Jeff Jones, appreciate his time during that playing of the interview. Cruz bounces out, swinging at the first pitch and rolls to short. That's a big bat to retire for Verlander.
Smart play by Romine too. Slowly hit ball, got a fast runner at first. He got the sure out at first base.
As good as the J.D. Martinez story has been for the Tigers, that has been the Steve Pearce story for the Orioles. And the kind of bat that can tighten this game quickly. Last time up, Pearce grounded to short. And Vila and Verlander won a hook up. Check out the Chevy numbers for Justin Verlander. This is to your point, Dennis. You're talking about him giving up a lot more hits this year. Opponent batting average with runners in scoring position. This is a shocking number here. Have opponents hit over 300 against Justin Verlander.
That doesn't make for a good season, believe me. And I told you the number before about against right-handed hitters, 321. I mean, right-handed hitters have no business hitting 321 off of Verlander.
Pearce gets straightened up by a Verlander fastball.
Good pitch right there.
It's the first time since his first full year in the big leagues that he gave up more hits than innings pitched.
A good speed at second for the Orioles and Adam Jones.
Can't seem to get on the same page.
They're mixing up the signals with Jones staring in on him, and Verlander checks on him. Remember, Carrera pinch ran for Rajay Davis. So Davis is out, Carrera's in. He's thought to be a very good defensive outfielder, but at the big league level, he's been a little shaky for the Tigers at times. Has great speed. None of the 3 outfielders for the Tigers have great throwing arms. Typically, you're able to take advantage of the Tigers outfield, but as we saw yesterday, Joe, J.D. Martinez cut one down at second base. He got Pearce.
Made a real strong throw from the warning track out in left field.
the advantages of a small outfield, very little power alley, especially in left. That's a straight shot out there. It's only 364 to the left center field power alley.
Fairly shallow in center field. Carrera.
Now Verlander falling behind, 2-1 on Pierce. Last 3 years, Steve Pierce released 3 times, put on waivers twice. Then with the Pirates, the Twins, Yankees. Second tour with the Orioles. Actually got released by the Orioles this year, taken off their big league roster. Buck Showalter was telling us the story yesterday about Pierce. He had some other opportunities to be on a big league roster, and the Orioles said, look, we have to make some room for a pitcher. We will put you back on the big league roster as soon as possible. And he took their word for it. And that has paid off in a big way for Baltimore. Dan Duquette said Steve Pierce has saved their season, the general manager.
Got to have some surprises that you weren't counting on to step in and help you out. And with all the injuries they had, he was certainly a plus.
He's gone from a journeyman to a platoon player to a key player. In a big spot. 1 gone, 2-2 pitch called. Strike 3, Verlander with a big strikeout on Steve Pierce for the second out of the inning.
And that's all set up by those balls that he threw inside. He swung through a pitch before that was hittable, I thought, and then just buckled him on this hook. No chance. Look at the depth of that curveball.
Beautiful.
All right, 2 gone. Here's J.J. Hardy. A little soft liner, a little jam shot line drive out in the second inning. That was over to third base. He's got Adam Jones at second. So many threats, both teams. Guys have that old school matchup feel. Sit back, wait on that multi-run home run. And the Orioles, they can go deep in just about every spot in their batting order. Those game-changing home runs.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, it'd make Earl Weaver proud. Wait on the big inning, wait on the big blow.
Hardy's came yesterday in the 7th inning. Great skipper of the Orioles. Memorialized there in the dugout. Great number 4. Hardy cuts and misses. So back inside goes Verlander.
Boy, he beat him in there, didn't he? Tied him up. That's a ball that, you know, Hardy likes to yank.
He's had a good 2-seamer today.
That's what that is.
That's had some life.
Yeah.
Running
Pitch
in on
before
him.
that was down. Looked like a sinker.
Verlander breezed through the first 2 innings. Took him just 27 pitches. He was rolling along until the single by Scope. Matter of fact, he retired the first 8 with 3 strikeouts, and then back-to-back hits, including the Markakis homer last inning.
And throw that hook again.
See what he does. 1 and 2, and Hardy takes a fastball inside.
That's a good point, Brian, about Scope. I mean, I talked about Markakis not being struck out on a call that may have was a strike. He gave up an 0-2 count base hit to Scope to get that started, get set up the home run.
Jeff Jones just talked about the need of a shutdown inning. Those are so important, especially when you are the road team. Tigers have put this big crowd in their seats with 5 runs in the 4th, and Verlander trying to keep it that way. And Hardy waves and fouls it off. He just got a piece, but he had him fooled.
Sooner or later, you're going to get that hook. I mean, he set that hook up. A lot of balls inside in this at bat, and you see this curveball's down. The one he punched out, the hitter before, was a little more up, but he's lucky to get a piece of this.
Looking bite out of Alex Avila too.
2-2. Count remains the same. J.J. Hardy hit 9 homers during the regular season. It's a down year for him. Trying to keep the inning alive here in the 4th. And he steps out.
Well, they're having a lot of trouble on those signs.
Verlander knows what he wants to do, and Avila and Verlander not jiving right now, and they're going to have to talk about it again.
They're going through a big sequence. He's hitting a lot of pieces of his equipment before he even goes to finger signs. So if Verlander shakes him off, then they got to start over. The guy at center field.
I think you give the guy at second base too much credit sometimes.
Whether he's trying to get the signs or not, he's giving the appearance that he is. He is locked in on Alex Avila when he takes his lead and gets into a position.
Verlander's real fidgety anyway.
Hardy takes the ball low. It didn't miss by much.
Yeah, that's a good take here. There's a good at bat here by Hardy. Just getting a piece of the last breaking ball makes that a good at bat.
Verlander's been in a lot of 3-ball counts today. This is the 5th. Flaherty's on deck. Action pitch coming. 3-2. Jones with a big lead. And Hardy in a soft liner. That's going to get down. Base hit. Coming around to score is Adam Jones. And another 2-out RBI for the Orioles. J.J. Hardy makes it a 5-3 Tigers lead.
That was a great at bat. Laying off the breaking ball before, getting a piece of the breaking ball before that, and a 3-2 breaking ball. It wasn't pretty looking, but to me, a little slider down the way. You go down and get that thing. That's a nice piece of hitting. RBI single makes this a 5-3 game.
Just a great at bat, like you said, and the breaking ball that he fouled off. He may be my idol today for getting a piece of that.
That's the one. That was the one that kept him alive. Here's Flaherty now. He takes a strike on a bender from Verlander. Baltimore has scored 15 runs already in this series through a game and 4 innings. 10 of those 15 have been with 2 outs.
Big time clutch.
And those are backbreakers for pitchers as well. And the Tigers cannot get that shutdown inning they were looking for from Verlander. And now the crowd is right back in it.
Verlander had a problem this year on shutdown innings. He gave up a ton of runs after his teammates had scored for him.
Flaherty rolls over one, just got a piece of it, and it'll go to 0-2.
I know he showed that great mark when he's been given 5 runs or more to work with, but the fact is he gave up 17 leads during the course of the year.
See Verlander doing Flaherty a changeup to start him off with a strike. He's got to be careful downstairs with Flaherty. That's his power down and in, but he had 7 home runs this year. He can surprise you.
0-2 pitch, and Flaherty fouls it away. Went up, or missed up probably, ended up middle of the strike zone, and Flaherty fouls it off. Count remains, no balls, 2 strikes.
Well, they're making him work.
Adam Jones had a single to start the inning. That came with 2 strikes. J.J. Hardy drove him in with a single with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And Flaherty on the ground to Kinsler on a couple of hops, and that will retire the side. So the Tigers maintain their lead, but the Orioles get a 2-out statement from J.J. Hardy, and it's 5-3 Tigers. The Tigers, something to smile about today. A 5-run 4th. Orioles come right back, get a run of their own in the bottom of the 4th. And now Kevin Gausman back to work, and he zips one in at 96 on Torrey Hunter as we start this 5th inning. This was the part of the order that did the damage last inning. Tigers batted around in the 4th. Hunter down through Castellanos, 5 consecutive hits and those back-to-back home runs. And there's a line shot to center field, a base hit. So Torrey Hunter is aboard again to start an inning. Moments ago, we had a chance to catch up with Orioles batting coach Jim Presley. Well, Jim, 2 out RBIs. That's a hitting coach's dream. Talk us through what you've seen here the last couple of days.
Well, we swung the bats good yesterday. Today it's going to be a battle trying to score runs off Verlander. But you could tell he was kind of apprehensive right there with JJ up because he didn't want to give up that run. And he made a pretty good pitch. JJ just went down there and got it. I don't know that 5 runs is going to be enough. Probably not. So good offensive ball clubs here, and we'll see how it turns out. But we're going to try to get him.
Jim's got to like the fact that his ball club with 2 outs, 9 for 20 in the series already.
Wow.
Well, now the big bat of the Tigers is up. Miguel Cabrera, who hit a double off the center field wall his last time up. Now that swing is dialed in. I'm not sure he's ever not been dialed in. I think when he was dealing with the foot and the ankle injury early this year, it changed his swing a little bit. But he came back, had a huge month of September.
He had to get off his back foot. He had to hit more off his front foot, which not too many people would even notice in terms of looking at his numbers. But because his ankle's gotten better, he can stay on his back leg a little bit longer. But his hands are so good and have always been good in his swing. So quick.
Cut and miss. Gosman attacks him with a fastball.
He backed that one up. 97, the first one, looked like he was right on it. He came right back in there again. This kid's got some hair, I'm telling you. They just couldn't get him in this game quick enough. Last inning they scored so quick. The bullpen got up, boom, boom, boom. It's like you knew that Showalter didn't want to let that game get out of hand.
This guy was the 4th pick in the draft just 2 years ago out of Louisiana State.
No balls, 2 strikes on Cabrera. And he misses down and away.
Yeah, that's 98.
Yeah, wasted.
Yes.
A waste pitch.
Doesn't really have a good slider. He's really fastball changeup. This year as a starter, he's had to go to that slider.
Well, it's been a week and a day since he last pitched in a game. And familiar with that routine as a starting pitcher. Orioles asking him to give him some innings out of the bullpen as Cabrera on the ground in the hole, diving stop, Flaherty to second, out there to the first, out there! Wow! What a double play!
That is a tremendous double play. It had a lot to do with Cabrera not being able to run, but you think about the stop to begin with, the dive by Flaherty, full extension. The throw to second, just get it there. We're lucky we got an out. No, we got 2 outs. What a double play. And you're not going to see it better.
Not a great feed to Scoot, but that gun he's got at second base was a difference too.
That is a tremendous double play. You're thankful to get 1 to begin with, then you get 2.
Well, notice the way Scope took the throw. He's taking that just to get the 1 out like a force play, but realized I got a chance here. That's Miguel Cabrera.
It's a flat-footed gun right there.
Yeah, he threw a Gosman fastball over to first base. What a cannon by the second baseman.
It's a lot like what Scope did yesterday, just to get 1 out, remember? Played it like a first baseman. Yeah. He realized he had a chance for 2.
That is special, that play right there.
You know, and you understand the base runners. Cabrera not running well and created the opportunity, but that was truly something special.
That was a big leaguer right there.
All the way around. 2 big outs. And now Martinez off the end of the bat.
Machado couldn't have done it any better. Huh? Seriously.
Right.
The Orioles missing Machado greatly. One of the great defenders in the game, the Platinum Award winner, given to the best defender in the league last year. Knee surgery knocked him out. They experimented over at third base. Buck Showalter settles on Ryan Flaherty for this postseason, and it did ever pay off right there. One ball, 1 strike. Victor Martinez. Nobody on with 2 outs after that thrilling double play. Martinez had an RBI single his last time up. That was the first Tigers run.
You know he's hit both ways because he's dirty on both sides.
Yes, he
Right.
is.
Oh, on the shoulders, you
Yeah.
mean the pine tar?
He is dirty both ways.
Pine tar on the bat. And
Yeah. He's filthy both ways.
started this game as a right-handed batter against the lefty Chen. Turns around to the left side, has some more power, but the numbers stand up well both sides for Victor Martinez. Most of his at-bats coming as a left-handed hitter, just by the nature of the right-handed pitchers in the game. Oftentimes opposing managers will try to turn him around, think he's a better opportunity of an out from the right side. That has not been the case this year.
Tell you, watch this, Beck. I mean, they're working him away. Gossman's got the big fastball and it's got some life. It's running away from him. But check out that hole over there. Working him away. As good a hitter as Victor Martinez is.
He's bound to be late. That's like 97 with movement away. How are you going to pull that?
Yeah.
Martinez, a great two-strike hitter this year. 17 more two-strike hits than any other player in the American League. Hit over 330 with 2 strikes. And the payoff, a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Gausman gets through the power of the order. A thrilling double play to set him up. Something special here. Cabrera into the 5-4-3. That's a 0 for the Tigers in the 5th. We got a special Baltimore Orioles fan here at the game today, Mr. Mike Rowe. He was born and raised in the Baltimore area, and he's got a new show coming up next Wednesday, October 8th on CNN called Somebody's Got to Do It. And we're all looking forward to it. Welcome, Mike. He's got his Cal Ripken number 8 Orioles jersey on.
Good choice.
Nicely done. Good to have Mike with us here today. You can watch EJ, Ron Darling, and Cal Ripken Jr. the nightcap of this 4-game stretch of divisional baseball today. Verlander back to work. Orioles show you their greatness defensively. It's been a hallmark of this team all year, shutting down the Tigers in the 5th. And now we'll see if Verlander can get through the bottom of the order here as Caleb Joseph leads off. Verlander breezing through the first couple of innings.
You can't help but watch pitch counts, you know, with the Orioles starters because you want to get them out of there. I mean, that's their strong suit, is their starting rotation. You want to get to that bullpen. You got 76 pitches coming in. You've got 78. They got to work him here.
Last night, Max Scherzer pitched into the 8th inning. He ended up going 7 1/3, and he was at 98 pitches, and I think there was a lot of discussion in Detroit among Tigers fans. Did Ausmus pull the plug on Scherzer a little too early after he'd given up a 1-out double?
It extended beyond Detroit. There were a lot of people wondering if you let him go out for the 8th and he only gives up a double, he hasn't even got to 100 pitches, then why not let him try and finish it?
Joseph fouls it back.
He's just going right at Joseph. 4 fastballs here, hit it.
We got 2 guys working right now that got some gas for you.
That kid threw 98. Victor Martinez never punches out. Well, he does with a 98 hair down low.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman has come on and settled things a little bit. Had that strikeout in the 4th. Faced 3 batters in the 5th. As that one skips away from Avila.
Mike Rowe's not the only star in the stands today.
Interested observer. Kate Upton. I think she's going through her Alex Avila routine right there. That ball's hit hard left field. Deep is Martinez, and he actually comes in to make that catch. So So the rookie Joseph lines out, gives us a chance to check in with Casey Stern in Atlanta. What do you have, Casey? All right, thanks a lot, Casey. You're loving all the birthday wishes, aren't you, Eck?
How come I mean, it's nice, but I don't really like it. You know, there's one, you just don't like it.
Yeah.
But I do. I appreciate it. I really do.
Just when you'd forgotten about it.
Right. I told you this should have been an off day and everything would have been cool.
One gone for Verlander with Scope at the plate. Top of the order due next, Markakis. Scope takes it low. Scope had a key at bat in that 2-run third. Had a single on an 0-2 pitch with 2 outs, extended the inning, and then that allowed Markakis a chance to deliver his first career postseason home run. Orioles have scored in each of the last 2 innings. Scope takes that one down and away.
I'm thinking about how, with Scope at second base on double plays, how do you ever get the guy off his feet? How do you slide in and take him out?
Yeah, at your own risk.
I remember Bill Buckner talking about Hall of Famer Bill Mazeroski. He said, you slide into him, it's like sliding into a fire hydrant. There was no moving.
You know, another guy like that, since we're talking 80s, is Jim Gantner with the Milwaukee Brewers. He would stand right in there and deliver the pain as opposed to receive it. And Scope, who goes 6'3", 235. He's one of the bigger second basemen you'll see. And he draws a walk. And that's a rare bird indeed. So the free swinger Scope reaches with 1 out. And we got a chance to check in with Jamie here for an update on Rajay Davis. What do you have, Jamie?
Yeah, you know, he's been dealing with that unusual lower abdomen injury, as you guys were talking about. The official word from the Tigers is he left the game due to tightness. They have him listed as day-to-day. And officially, Eck, happy birthday to you. You do have the best head of hair in the booth.
Everybody's in now. Oh, everybody's in. Anxious moments here for Brad Ausmus. Anibal Sanchez, he's going to need to begin to throw. He's been a starter. You're right. He's going to need, because he's been a starter and he's coming off an injury on his pectoral muscle, he's going to need a while to get loose. Markakis takes a strike. By the way, that's a walk by Verlander, Joe, so that finishes the string. 83 consecutive batters faced without a walk. Last time he walked a batter was September 14th against the Indians, until he just walked Jonathan Scope.
And that's a big walk to me. That's a major mistake, but you got to give him credit. I mean, he hasn't walked anybody forever.
First walk of the game for either team.
All fastballs to Markakis until the first pitch this inning.
Markakis takes the ball up and away. Nick Markakis is coming off a good bounce back year in 2014. He had his worst offensive year in 2013. He's always been a good hitter. He's got a .290 career batting average over 9 years, has over 1,500 hits. His first postseason. And that one's in the air, right center field, long run, Carrera, that's going to stay in. And he'll make the catch for the out, second out of the inning. He just missed it on the bat, did Markakis.
But it's like Dennis and I were talking last night. Anything in the air in this ballpark, you just assume is going to go out of here. It's even the fans. Baltimore fans, they see a ball in the air, just like they did on that fly ball. They got excited.
Well, he got lucky right there. That was a hanging changeup that he just missed.
Well, we heard from Jim Presley, the hitting coach of the Orioles, and whether he is a super confident person or whether he really believes it, feeling like 5 runs was not going to win this game. It's a lot of trust in his offense, especially against a guy like Verlander. Here's Deaza now. Again, batting in the 2 spot. This is going to be an interesting play for Buck Showalter when this series goes to Detroit. David Price is scheduled to pitch Game 3 Sunday. We could see Delmon Young in as the DH, and that would put Nelson Cruz in left field. That would take Deaza out. It's a lot more ground to cover at Comerica compared to this ballpark.
And Deaza's swinging the bat pretty well, too.
He has come to life since he came to Baltimore. He really has. Ends up being a pretty good acquisition when you think about it.
There's David Price preparing for his Sunday start. The 3rd of the Cy Young Award pawns for the Tigers. As Deaza takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Orioles were 8-3 against Cy Young Award winners this year. So how about that? This is nothing new to them.
That's a good note. Had one last night against the reigning Cy Young Award winner, Max Scherzer. 7 1/3, 5 earned runs for Scherzer last night. 2 outs. Deaza, and it's over the head of Kinsler. On his way to 3rd goes Scope. That's another 2-out hit. Deaza keeps the inning alive. And the Orioles are pushing it again. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs in the 5th.
Yeah, they are pushing Verlander. Deaza gets on top of this fastball. Supposed to be away. Look at that ball, middle. Just out of the reach of Kinsler. I mean, he couldn't get any higher for this, but fastball, another mistake. We saw the changeup previous to Markakis he got away with. Luckily, there's 2 outs for him, and he'd be in serious trouble. He is still in serious trouble with Jones up there.
Yeah, and be careful on the first pitch. This guy loves the first one.
Right on the barrel. Deaza with his 3rd hit in this division series. He's been on 4 times. And it sets up Adam Jones. 93 pitches for Verlander. He's had 17 in this inning. In baseball, they call it ambush hitter. That means he's attacking on the first one. That's his hallmark. Verlander doesn't give him a chance. And it's not just fastballs, is it either, Joe? He'll swing at anything if it's in the zone.
Aggressive early, but I think every one of these guys are. And again, there's repeating. Jim Presley said, we don't just swing early, we hit the ball hard.
Tying run at first. Go ahead and run at the plate. And Jones pops it up. Verlander makes a big pitch. Foul territory. It's Castellanos. And the Tigers are out of the inning. Verlander bows his neck and retires a big threat. Tigers still lead after 5. Let's take a look at today's Goodyear superior performance. And the man who will lead off this 6th inning, J.D. Martinez, the first player in Detroit Tigers history with home runs in his first 2 postseason games. And that is a significant history. The Tigers go back to the origination of the American League. Hit 23 homers in the big leagues this year. Hit 10 home runs in AAA to start the year, J.D. Martinez. And he has carried it over. What a story he's been after being released by the Houston Astros this spring. 3-run opposite field home run for J.D. Martinez in the 4th. He was the front end of a back-to-back homer scenario in this game. He was the back end yesterday with Victor Martinez.
Trying to crowd him right there with fastballs the same way that Verlander crowded Jones to make him pop out, which was a big pitch last inning. Left it out over a little bit, but he's got some hump on it.
Gosman came in. He struck out Kinsler to end the 4th. That was the 5-run inning. Wei-Yin Chen was out. Faced 3 batters in the 5th. And a 2-strike pitch is upstairs.
If you get to the big leagues and play in Detroit and Houston rather, you can get into bad habits trying to reach those Crawford boxes in left field and try to just turn on everything, pull everything. So one of the things I notice about him right now is how balanced he is and how he's keeping his hands inside the baseball like he's trying to hit the ball up the middle.
A lot of his power comes to right field, and look at all of the moving parts in Houston. The bat, the hips, the foot.
Yeah.
I mean, when Dave Clark, who knew him, Dave Clark was a coach with the Astros. He was with Martinez. When he laughed, when you say, "What's the difference?" He goes, "Everything."
Yeah.
From the bottom up. Now look at him. A swing and a miss back to the heat.
That is Major League cheese. That's what that is. This kid, he's come out throwing nothing but fastballs. He threw in one breaking ball, but this is ridiculous. I mean, this ball beats him. Got some plate by him on.
So Gausman has come in. He has thrown 23 pitches, 20 fastballs.
Hello.
What'd you call him?
Gas Masterson.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that all day.
Wow.
You know, if you're a starting pitcher, I mean, you just can't. But if you know you're only going to go 3 or 2 or 1, just let it fly.
Looks like his only concern is after he follows through, he's got to grab his glasses to keep him from falling off.
Castellanos, who homered his last time up. Another opposite field home run.
See why they love this kid.
2 pitches, fastball, changeup. He has 2 varieties of changeup. Does one a little harder than the other. Actually has an old-fashioned forkball for his other change of pace.
Throws a hard changeup is what he does.
The forkball is the slower of the 2. And there's nothing slow about that. 97, bottom of the strike zone, inside corner. Good luck. 1 ball, 1 strike on Castellanos.
He's been starting all year. That's probably why he feels so good. Had a few days off, right? And he knows he's only got to go a couple innings. Let's go.
Good note there. Youngest to homer in Tiger franchise history in the postseason. And a defensive hack on another fastball, and it's 1-2 on Castellanos.
Yeah, we talk about Scope being 22 and a good-looking young player. Castellanos, 22 years old as well.
Try not to get too fired up right here, but you're throwing the ball like he is. Just let it go.
A ball and 2 strikes. 1 gone in the 6th, and a ground ball in the hole. That's cut off by Flaherty. 2 outs. And let's send it down to Jamie Maggio. What do you have, Jamie?
You know, thanks, Brian. I just want to mention the Orioles won in more ways than one last night. Not only did they auction off front row seats to raise money for 8 children's charities, they also invited 1,400 underprivileged kids to come out for games 1 and 2 of the ALDS. They're sitting out there in the Utah Street bleachers in right center field. The banner there reads "Not Hogang." That's a reference to a term used in Baltimore in 1930 for the policy of allowing kids to come to games for free. Pretty awesome to have these kids out here again today.
Yeah, knock the knot hole out of the fence. You could put your face right up to it. You could see the game. They used to dig holes, and it's a great history of the knot hole game here in Baltimore. And they come in and see a ball game, and they've carried it on in the postseason. That's a great gesture. Good report. One of those knot hole game kids caught Nelson Cruz's home run yesterday, as a matter of fact. Gausman with 2 outs. Alex Avila at the plate. Keeping an eye on that Tigers bullpen. Anibal Sanchez continues his warm-up process,
which may or may not mean anything. If it takes him a while to get ready, he may want to just keep throwing in case something goes haywire here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Just keep throwing.
Keep throwing.
Keep throwing. Don't stop.
Right.
Nelson Cruz will lead off the bottom of the 6th for the O's. The sellout crowd, over 48,000. They're hungry for a K. Gausman has 3. And Avila lays off a changeup.
We talked about this a little bit between innings regarding Verlander and how it's likely that he wouldn't start a game the rest of the series, even if it went 5 games, theoretically. So you might be willing to go a little longer with him because of that and because of the problems the bullpens had.
I think those are going to be the toughest decisions Brad Ausmus is going to have to make in this series. When to take the ball from the starter. 1-2 pitch, and down he goes. Change of pace. And his 4th strikeout. Kevin Gausman, welcome to the postseason. It's one of the coolest spots on the big league circuit, the Inner Harbor here in Baltimore, and you can walk from there to here, Camden Yards, downtown Baltimore. Back in the postseason, second time in the last 3 years. Got a good game going here today. 5-3 is our score. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Justin Verlander breezing through the first 8 batters he faced, retired all 8. He's run into some trouble since. 2-run homer by Markakis, 2-out RBI single by Hardy. Verlander just stranded 2 in the 5th. We'll see how he goes here in the 6th inning. Part of the order coming up for the Orioles, starting with Nelson Cruz, who takes strike 1. Verlander pitches with activity in his bullpen out in left center field. I want to talk about Brad Ausmus and the tough decisions as Anibal Sanchez continues to throw. Every manager lives and dies by your bullpen, but I think it's especially difficult for Ausmus because of the nature of the player that he's got to go get the ball from. The Cy Young Award winners, the pitchers with pedigree who have been in big games and have pitched great games. And have a whole mantle full of trophies.
And he doesn't get enough credit. Everybody thinks, you know, Detroit's going to be in this thing, get in the playoffs. Meanwhile, you're only as good as your bullpen. I mean, bullpens make for bad managers. They really do. And he's overcome a bad bullpen, obviously, because he's got some great starting pitching.
Short tenures for managers with bad bullpens, too.
2 balls and a strike on Nelson Cruz. And a couple of homers against Verlander in that showdown series back in 2011 when Cruz was a Ranger. Cruz was the MVP of that ALCS. He touched Scherzer. He got a couple of home runs off Verlander. Hit a grand slam in that series. One of the greatest postseason series performances in the history of the game. Cruz takes it inside.
He's pitching, I'll tell you. Verlander doesn't want to make a mistake. He's got 2 runs to work with, but he's crowding these guys. You have to crowd Cruz and Jones. You got to show them in.
Especially when he's starting with that open stance and coming back to the plate. You might be able to tie him up.
Cruz into center field. Carrera deep, and he misplays it. That ball's down. Base hit.
Awful jump.
Well, that should have been an out. Remember, Rajay Davis is out. Carrera came in a couple of innings ago, and he misplays this one. That's a base hit for Cruz, and Verlander should have had an out.
Yeah, high breaking ball. You thought he hit it too well to sneak it in front of Carrera, but he went sideways a little bit at the beginning. You see, he had to go straight directly to that ball to make that play. He pulled up, took it on 1 hop.
Well, Brad Ausmus is out to the mound. Verlander trying to talk his way in, and Ausmus is going to take the ball for the 2nd consecutive game. The Orioles have been able to get to a Tigers starting pitcher. This time it comes in the 6th. Verlander, he's out, and now the Tigers bullpen back in the spotlight.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Now the biggest hole the Tigers are worried about exposing their bullpen. Our bullpen comparison presented by the Lincoln Motor Company last night. It did not go well for the Tigers. They gave up 7 runs in just 2/3 of an inning. The Orioles did not bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Meanwhile, the Orioles got 4 key innings out of their bullpen. And now Brad Ausmus takes the ball from Justin Verlander. Eck, you said in our open, this feels like an elimination game for the Tigers, even though it is not. But Ausmus removes Verlander and now gives the ball to a wild card out of that bullpen, a starter who's been injured in Anibal Sanchez.
Well, luckily they got him in a game out of the bullpen before the year was over. You know, so he got his chance to go out there, but it takes a long time to get ready. He did have enough time to get ready. He's warming up for 2 innings, but this is kind of a desperate situation. You're winning 5-3, you lose this ball game, especially when you have a lead like that. Doesn't it feel like it's like they're hoping it was the 7th? It's only the 6th.
But I think that's where he's instrumental here. In my view, they still haven't gone to the bullpen. They just brought in another starter, and if he can take them to the 9th, they still won't have to get in the bullpen.
That's a good point. If you can piggyback Sanchez with Verlander, the question is how durable can Sanchez be? He has not made a start in the major leagues since August 8th. He made 1 relief appearance last Friday after he missed 7 weeks due to an injury, had a right pectoral injury in early August. 7 weeks on the shelf, went through a rehab process, and here he is in the postseason pitching out of the bullpen and entering an inning with the tying run at the plate in this 5-3 game.
Well, to me, it's all the command issues. You know, you're a little excited. This is a different situation. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to get an inning of work in. This is the postseason here. You're trying to hold a 5-3 lead. The guy has great stuff when he's starting. I mean,
absolutely.
He's got all the pitches.
Big hook.
Nice changeup at any time, too.
Pierce, big cut. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, that last pitch had some movement on it.
Ausmus with his bench coach Gene Lamont. Next to him, the pitching coach Jeff Jones. One ball, 2 strikes. And Pierce fouls it away.
Tried to beat him there with a fastball, just fouled it off.
Anytime you're a team like the Orioles, 200+ homers each of the last 3 years, you never feel like you're out of the ball game. I mean, 10-1, 12-2, okay, maybe it's over. But they've got so many guys up and down their lineup that can turn the game around that you never feel like you're out of it.
Now this one right now is playing perfectly to the script for the Orioles if they are going to come back here. As Pierce goes down the line, foul. He just missed the bag. That'll keep the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
Threw that same pitch, a little funky little thing that goes down and in. And he almost ripped it down the line. Got away with it. Could be 2nd and 3rd right now. Must be a changeup or something going down and in like that.
Everybody's got their seeds working.
Breaking ball here. Slider.
And Pierce misses 1 foul again.
Once again, not a good pitch.
Got to get it down.
It's one thing to be Anibal Sanchez and be back on the mound. He's been one of the top pitchers for the Tigers. He actually garnered some votes in the Cy Young voting last year, finished 4th.
Led the league in ERA last year, but
it's another thing to be Anibal Sanchez coming back from an injury. Well, what kind of pitcher can he be in a spot like this? Spins and fires. Cue shot right off the end of the bat. This fielded by Cabrera. Sanchez there on the hookup, and Pierce is out. Cruz advances to second base. And one away here in the 6th inning as Sanchez retires his first batter first. Hey, a reminder, play postseason showdown throughout October. Simply pick the winners of head-to-head player matchups between Detroit and Baltimore. You'll have a chance to win a pair of 2015 season tickets for your favorite team. Go to MLB.com/showdown to play now.
see that last pitch, Joe? Was he making up the pitch or what?
I think so.
Like an ephus or something, didn't it?
He slowed everything down and just kind of lobbed it up there.
It worked.
Now one gone. Cruz at first. Here's J.J. Hardy. And in there with a strike. 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Talking about that good work of Sanchez last year, I saw him in 8 innings strike out 17 Atlanta Braves and walked 1.
He made it through 6 last year in the ALCS, punched out 12 against the Red Sox. Had the bags loaded several innings, walked a bunch of guys.
Big cut by Hardy, trying to tie it up with one swing. 0-2 now. Hardy drove in a run in the 4th inning. That was a 2-out, 2-strike single to left field. He just dumped it over the shortstop's head. Terrific at bat by Hardy in that 4th. Verlander should have had a better fate in this inning.
Absolutely.
Cruz's fly ball should have been caught.
That may have been one of the arguments he was presenting when Ausmus came out, is you're taking out the right guy.
Rajai Davis was lifted after he singled.
I don't know if Rajai would have caught that either, to be honest with you.
I think you're right. I think that's the point. Ausmus does not feel comfortable with Davis in center field, who can't run. Orioles down 2. Hardy in a 1-2 count. Sanchez deals and he misses up and away. His best fastball so far at 93 miles an hour. We're talking about the pregame prep it takes, the warm-up it takes for Sanchez during the regular season as a starter. He says it takes him 2 hours to get ready for a start.
Is he getting the tub for a half an hour?
Gotta be. Had to completely change that to pitch out of the bullpen as Hardy pops it up. And Cabrera will give it a look. It'll be close. Cabrera's there. He's got it for the out. And Hardy on a foul pop. The 2nd out of the inning.
Big out right there. They're down to the stands.
Those burn you up, don't they? Those foul pops.
Sure do talk to it. I know that. Trying to help it get out of play.
Well, there's not a whole lot of foul territory here. I guess there is down the line. Most stadiums don't even have any when you get down the left field line. You just run out of room.
Ryan Flaherty with 2 outs. Flaherty has a couple of ground outs to second base in this game. And a little half swing started him with it off speed, and a strike on Flaherty, unable to check it.
That's that hard changeup that he turns over or something. It's hard to guess with this guy because he's got several pitches.
He's got 2 outs. After the single by Cruz, who's now at second base, Flaherty takes the ball away. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Orioles' third baseman. Might have already saved a run with his play defensively. You don't know how the inning would have shaped out, but a diving stop on Cabrera and a ball in the hole ended up turning it into a double play. That's going to be one of the plays of the day in the postseason.
Sanchez is another great pickup by Dave Dombrowski from the Miami Marlins. Great deal. He and Omar Infante back in 2013 for Rob Brantling, Brian Flynn, and Jacob Turner. They've done some good work making deals with the Marlins.
See the schedule today on Fox Sports 1. Giants, Nationals, and Cardinals, Dodgers. 1-2 pitch. And a call. Strike 3. Anibal Sanchez pumps the fist. And the wild card comes up big for the Tigers. Going to give them a few more. We'll see. Sanchez 3 up, 3 down out of the bullpen. Still 5-3. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. Producer Jeff Randolph, director Mad Lip. Great to have you with us today. Brian Anderson with Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley and Joe Simpson. Jamie Maggio, our reporter. And it looked like a lopsided game last night. It wasn't. Very tight game until the 8th inning. The Orioles scored 8 in the 8th. The Tigers scored 5 in the 4th here today. Baltimore got one of them back, and it's 5-3 as we begin the 7th inning, with Kevin Gossman emerging as a big story here today for the O's. Just powering up the Detroit Tigers. He has given them 7 big outs already. He's faced the minimum. He did give up a hit in the 5th inning, but got a double play immediately thereafter. One of the great plays of the postseason so far. Andrew Romine starts it for Detroit. And a swing and a miss, and now we're starting to see a few more change-ups from Gossman.
You see that thing just disappear. Now we're talking about a guy that throws 97, 98. That thing stops, goes down at 85.
And you're trying to start your swing a little bit early to try to catch up to it.
It's ridiculous.
Multiple signs, even with nobody on base. Ball and 2 strikes on Romine. And he fouls it back. He fouls away a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Looked like Joseph wanted that one up a little bit.
Tigers are at the bottom of their order. Ezekiel Carrera will bat for the first time. He pinch ran in the 4th. Had a misplay in the last inning that could have cost the Tigers. It did not. Anibal Sanchez got through it. Yeah, there's a swing and a miss. Up the ladder with Cheese, and Gossman picks up his 5th strikeout. And Joe, let's go back to that sequence as Carrera comes up here. And here's a kid that they're going to need a lot of confidence from moving forward, you would think. This is the misplay. That's the end of it.
It was a misread. He cut across and then came in. You see Verlander's reaction because he knew he was on the verge of coming out of the ball game, but he got a high five from the pitcher in the dugout to try to make sure he knew he was okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers know they may have to rely on Ezekiel Carrera. He got a pinch hit appearance last night. He drew a walk, and then when he pinch ran for Rajai Davis in the 4th inning, Eki stole the base, so he's contributed on the offensive side.
Well, he's got some tools. You know, you talk about speed. If you can use it the right way, you know, steal a bag. It's another thing if you get a bad jump on the ball, and you can't blame Verlander for even reacting at all. The cool thing is about, you know, telling him everything's cool in the dugout.
Carrera pops this one up, foul territory. Flaherty's going to give it a look, and he runs out of room. Ball and a strike on Ezekiel Carrera. Center field job that is a big one for the Tigers, especially as this series goes to Comerica with a massive center field.
Right.
They traded away a great defender, superior defender in Austin Jackson, in order to get David Price, part of that 3-team trade with the Mariners, the Tigers, and the Tampa Bay Rays. They also gave up left-handed pitcher Drew Smyly.
And as good as those 2 players were, you make that deal every day to get David Price.
Absolutely.
With all due respect to those other 2 gentlemen, because you're making a move that you're hoping puts you in the World Series and gives you a World Championship.
What did you think at the time? I said slam dunk.
Heck yeah.
And Dave Dombrowski's team had to go right to the end. They didn't clinch till the final day of the regular season. Won the Central Division for the 4th consecutive year, but won it by just 1 game. And they're down a game in this best of 5. Gossman has Carrera 1-2. Since the trade that brought Price to Detroit, sending Austin Jackson to Seattle, Don Kelly has played center field. The problem with Don Kelly, he's probably the most reliable guy, but he also plays third base when they have leads late. He comes in for Castellanos. So it's been basically Rajay Davis and Ezekiel Pereira.
There's a lot of depth problems with this club. They just don't have enough on the bench.
Another 1-2 pitch.
He's just pounding 97, 98, 97, 98.
Well, this looks good. This ball just a shade inside.
Baltimore fans upset because Scott Berry's called that pitch a couple of times today on Orioles hitters.
Now Verlander got that call on Cruz earlier. There's a little slap liner caught by Hardy. J.J. Hardy runs it down. And the second out for Gausman.
He got a good jump there to make that play.
Well, it's Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year, Chevy Silverado. J.J. Hardy, not a guy you would consider with great range, but Joe, he seems like he's always in the right position to make plays.
Good crossover step, good jump.
Top of the order, here is Ian Kinsler now, 2 outs. Gausman is strong. You got a couple of starting pitchers who do not make the postseason rotation, pitching out of the bullpen now. Anibal Sanchez retiring the first 3 he faced in the bottom of the 6th. Gausman has been in since the 4th inning. Joakim Soria begins to throw in the Tigers bullpen.
He's going real slow. He's not getting ready for the next inning. You're going to send Sanchez back out there.
Now Sanchez looked good. Even with his ephus pitch or whatever that was.
He got away with one, didn't he?
1 ball, 1 strike on Kinsler, who is 0 for 3 today, and a ground ball. The shift is on. Hardy's right there. And Kevin Gausman with 10 big outs for the Orioles. He's faced the minimum. Got the last out of the 4th, and he is through 7 now. Orioles stay in baseball in the postseason. Game 2 of this best-of-5 American League Division Series. Today's game summary is brought to you by Geico. It is 5-3, a 5-run Tigers 4th inning. Brian Anderson with Dennis Eckersley and Joe Simpson. And I think the story right now, even though the Tigers have the lead, they have 9 outs in them from their bullpen. Anibal Sanchez is back out for his 2nd inning.
Well, I'll tell you what, they kept the pressure on him in Baltimore. If you think about it, they couldn't get into the bullpen quick enough. They scored so fast in that inning because Gausman has kept the pressure on them and dominantly went about it. But that's the game. They go to Sanchez, and can he do the job? He's got an inning in him. How far are they going to go with him?
And as far as losing your starting pitcher, getting knocked out early, the best you can hope for in your long reliever is just hold the other team and give your team a chance to catch up. Gausman's certainly done that. He's been outstanding and fun to watch.
Well, X said in our open, this feels like an elimination game for the Tigers. They are going back home for Sunday's game 3, but to fall down 0-2, only 5 teams in the divisional era have come back from 0-2 hole. So this is big. They have the lead. They've got Anibal Sanchez on the mound. This crowd of over 48,000 is raucous. And here we go to the bottom of the 7th inning.
These crowds have been great here in Baltimore the first 2 games.
They are glad to have postseason baseball back in Baltimore. Caleb Joseph will lead off. The Orioles' young catcher. He's 0 for 2. Hit one sharply his last time up. He lined out to left. Verlander struck him out looking in the 3rd inning. Verlander gave up a single that we showed you, and that ball that bounced in front of Carrera last inning. He was taken out. Anibal Sanchez came in. Ground ball, foul pop, strikeout. Battle of the managers, right? Those tough decisions. Making the call on when to go to your next reliever. How much slack do you give your current pitcher? This Orioles bullpen is making Buck Showalter look like a genius. Everybody puts out there dominates from the pen. They lost their starter in the 4th inning.
But believe me, the bullpen was going when he was got 1st and 3rd, but 2 pitches later, 2 bombs.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was a 10-pitch stretch where the Tigers scored 5 runs. That's all it took. 10 pitches from Wei-Yin Chen, 5 hits, 5 runs on the board.
I understand that Gausman and Sanchez came out of that gate out there, but they're starting pitchers.
Yeah.
And as good as Baltimore's bullpen is, he hasn't needed it today. He just needed one of his starters. And as I said before, Brad Ausmus is going to have to ride Sanchez, wants to ride him as far as he can go, despite the fact that he's only thrown 1 inning of baseball coming into today since the middle of August.
Eck, you've done both. Do you feel like as a starter you're in the flow of the game now? Does it feel like your days as a starter when you've gotten through the 1st inning?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't done it like this. I mean, I've shifted over, but not right in the middle of it.
And Joseph down on strikes. Anibal Sanchez with back-to-back Ks. 4 in a row for Sanchez. Glad you're with us from Baltimore. This 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Almost 3 o'clock on the East Coast. And we are at Camden Yards. A little throwback from the schedule makers today. If you love baseball history like we do, then day baseball in the postseason, that takes you back a few years. Got an old school kind of matchup as well with the Tigers and the O's.
Think there's anybody here with a transistor radio?
I was thinking that it works just like that on your smartphone too, right? All the kids at school, they can watch these days. Jonathan Scope with 1 out. It's been 30 years since the Tigers last won the World Series. 84. As Scope goes in the air to Carrera, or rather the shortstop Romine will make the catch. 2 up and 2 down here. It's been 31 years since the O's won the World Series, 83. And wherever you can find a spot to watch, whether it be the hotels or the warehouses.
Hey, you guys are on. Wave at us.
Orioles make their offices over there, their operations. Tigers fans are well represented, blending in with all of the orange, but they're here and they're ready to get this series to Detroit. You know they'll be rocking in the Motor City on Sunday. That is a great baseball town, and they've seen a lot of winning. 4 consecutive division titles. They are hoping this is their year that they can finally break through and win a World Series.
They're biting their nails over this one, I assure you. Late in the game, they've seen this pitcher before, but they haven't seen it with Sanchez. I tell you what, he's funky. He's got that delivery of his. He turns his body about 3/4 of the way around, and you don't know what you're going to get.
Top of the order, Markakis. A little lazy pop foul. Ausmus has had Albuquerque in the bullpen briefly. He has had Soria loosening in the bullpen. Soria was throwing. He's stopped now. And why would you keep going? Sure, he's loose, but Sanchez is well in control here.
The question is, if he gets out of this inning, do you put Sanchez in again?
That was pitch number 28. I would guess it just depends on how he feels when he walks off, if he doesn't have to labor too much to get this 3rd out. And for Sanchez and his reputation, he's going to say, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes. This is away. Markakis Works it full. Markakis has seen a lot of pitches. He has been in three-ball counts in this game in his 4 at-bats.
He's different than everybody else in their lineup. He works the count. He's their toughest out. He's going to make you make pitches, and boy, he sure did in that at-bat for the home run.
You expect him here to throw fastball, but maybe not.
3-2 pitch. Markakis out to the shortstop. Romine, long throw, close play. Out at first. Bang, bang, it goes. Might take a look at it. Romine makes the play, and Anibal Sanchez retires 6 in a row out of the Tigers bullpen. Yeah, he got him. Well, check out our upcoming TBS schedule presented by DirecTV later tonight, 9 Eastern. Game 2, Royals Angels from Anaheim. And then on Sunday, a couple of Game 3s. We got the Orioles and the Tigers at 3:30 Eastern. And then Angels Royals at 7:30 Eastern from Kansas City in Kauffman Stadium. Great win last night by the Royals. To quote the great poet Dan Plesac, call the park ranger, the moose is loose. Mike Moustakas with a game-winning home run and back-to-back extra inning wins for the Royals. And wait till you see Kauffman Stadium on Sunday. That place is going to be rocking once again. Torrey Hunter leads the way. Gosman is back at it. He has retired the side in order beginning in the 4th inning. Even though he gave up a hit in the 5th, he immediately got a double play. So he's given him 10 outs. 3 1/3 thus far. Just 1 hit. He has 5 strikeouts. The Tigers have Jabba Chamberlain in the bullpen. So Ausmus, because of the 2 scoreless innings from Anibal Sanchez, has been able to bridge the gap. Handshakes for Anibal Sanchez from Ausmus.
Gave him just what they needed.
And the Chamberlain-Joe Nathan combination. Soria has sat down as Torrey Hunter takes strike 1.
They needed that bridge between, for however long he could go between Verlander and the end of the game, and he did a great job.
They'd like to get a couple more runs is what they'd like to do.
Very quiet here, 48,000 at Camden Yards. And that one is low, a ball. Torrey Hunter walks. Well, he's had a terrific day today. 2 hits and a walk, on base 3 times in front of Miguel Cabrera. First walk issued by Gosman.
Asking a lot out of this kid. You see what he's done. He's just been overpowering with that fastball up to 98 at one point, and that changeup falls off the table. It's been very impressive. Now he's got to get through the heart of the lineup here and a leadoff walk to Hunter.
Well, this will be the 2nd time he's facing this part of the order. Last time he faced Cabrera, that was that beautiful double play started by Flaherty to Scope. And that's a bullet into left field. Cabrera with a base hit. And 1st and 2nd, the Tigers trying to tack a few on here in the 8th inning. 2 on, nobody out. 3rd hit of the game for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, he's dropped down to 96, so you guys are getting around on him a little better. But you're not going to throw the ball by Miguel Cabrera. He is a monster.
You know, that's asking a lot out of this kid. You think about it. You almost say thanks for that. Let's see if we can piece together the rest of the game. We talk how great this Baltimore Orioles bullpen is. You get a day off tomorrow. It's making it that much more difficult with guys on now.
Now, Britton only pitched a 1/3 of an inning last night because they scored 8 runs in the inning. He was able to bring Tommy Hunter in. He's got Brad Brock in the bullpen right now. Showalter is in the decision chair right now. Victor Martinez, 2 on, nobody out. The Tigers threatening. This is a lot like how their big inning in the 4th occurred.
Victor Martinez struck out in back-to-back at bats last night for the first time since June. He struck out his last at bat today. Well, he's got some good pine tar working.
Didn't he?
Final year of his contract. Signed a deal with the Tigers, a 4-year deal coming from Boston. Started with the Indians. Oh, a nice pick by Joseph. Keeps the runners at first and second. Orioles are begging for a ground ball here to turn 2. The Tigers do bounce into a lot of double plays, but they do a lot of damage with these guys as well. That's the other part of it.
He's going to get the double play ball with that changeup, not the gas.
Gosman pitching in his 5th inning. And timeout asked for and granted by the catcher Joseph. So wanting to go through the signs here.
And keep in mind too that this type of relief action happens in the American League. This doesn't happen in the National League, especially when you're behind. You're going to get pinch hit for.
1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez fouls it back. 1-2 the count now on Victor.
Victor got a pitch to hit right there. Middle.
He's late.
Had some hair on it though.
JD making a fan. He's due next. All 3 Orioles outfielders throw the ball well. Best arm out there is in right field in Markakis. Has 11 assists. Trying to keep Torrey Hunter as close as possible. And the 1-2's in the air, deep right center field. That ball's well hit. On the run is Jones. That is a one-hopper off the wall. Hunter is in to score. Cabrera's going to try to score. The throw to the plate, and he is out! Jonathan Scope with a BB to the plate. 6-3 Tigers, but Cabrera is cut down behind Hunter.
Great throw there by Scope, but you need a double play ball. He did throw his changeup, and I tell you what, Martinez put a swing on it. I thought that was a 3-run bomb when it left the bat.
Victor Martinez comes through again. He adds a run to it, down and away, takes it off the center field fence to drive in a run to make it 6-3. That's a big out for the Orioles, though, as Cabrera is blown up at the plate. Easy call to make. And Buck Showalter will make the pitching change. So Kevin Gosman gave him all he could. Finally runs out of gas. To the bullpen goes Showalter with 1 out. We'll take a timeout. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. And a reminder to see projections for every postseason award with the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. Download Team Stream for your iPad, iPhone, or Android device today. The Tigers have added to their lead, a tack-on run here in the 8th inning on a Victor Martinez RBI double. And the new pitcher here, Eck, is Brad Brock out of the Orioles bullpen.
Very deceptive delivery, throws across his body. Tough on right-handed hitters. Good slider, decent fastball.
Got a runner at second. Martinez with 1 out now as JD Martinez bats. Orioles are down 3. Excellent execution of the relay to get Cabrera at the plate. And that could be a decision worth talking about. Third base coach Dave Clark sending Cabrera there. Scope fired a bullet into the plate to get him.
Yeah, I have all the respect in the world for Dave Clark at third base, but it got a little greedy there, I thought, because arguably his slowest runner coming around, no argument, his best player that he's going to put in harm's way at the plate. And you wind up, if you don't send him second and third, nobody out with JD Martinez up.
That's the thing, nobody out.
Yeah.
Instead, the Orioles able to get the first out. That ball is in the air to right to Markakis. And there is out number 2. You don't know about the pitch sequence or how it would have been the approach, but you set yourself up for a sac fly if you hold the runners. That Martinez
That's
double
ridiculous. You know, you talk about a guy throwing 97, 98, throws him a change up down and away. That ball was off the plate, and he hits one hops the center field fence.
Yeah, not to be overlooked, even though Cabrera was thrown out. A 2-strike double, one hopper off the fence. That looked like it was headed for the other batter's box.
Yeah, he just threw him a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He fouled it off. Remember, he was late, looking for a ground ball.
There's Castellanos now. He takes one in the dirt. Well, the Tigers today are 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position. That was a part of the story yesterday. They really didn't have many opportunities with runners in scoring position. They only had one at bat yesterday. They were 0 for 1. Had back-to-back home runs. A 12-3 Orioles win. Baltimore scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Castellanos, a lazy fly ball out to Markakis. So the Orioles defense able to minimize the damage, but a run is in. Victor Martinez makes it a 6-3 Tigers lead. 6-3, Tigers have the lead this ALDS series presented by T-Mobile. Markakis, they had a home run review, a 2-run shot to give the Orioles the lead. The Tigers score 5 runs on 6 hits in the 4th inning. Added one in the 8th on a Victor Martinez RBI single. And here we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Tigers bringing on Java Chamberlain. It was interesting, between innings they announced him over the PA system. Orioles fans gave him a standing ovation when his name was announced. Java Chamberlain is in for the 2nd consecutive day.
I've always said these Oriole fans are very knowledgeable. They know the plight of the Detroit bullpen, so they're just excited about it.
That was quite a shock. Orioles are down 3. Tigers trying to get to the finish line here. 6 outs to get. This has been the formula for Brad Ausmus. Don Kelly comes in defensively for Castellanos to play third base. Remember, you've got the rookie Pereira in center field. Rajay Davis left with an injury earlier, just an aggravation of an existing injury.
He got his feet wet last night, Chamberlain, so that pressure should be off a little bit. You got a 3-run lead. Your job is to throw strikes. When he gets in trouble, he does have a hard time with the strike zone. He loves that slider.
Key part of the order for the Orioles here in the 8th. Deaza, the number 2 hitter in Showalter's lineup. You got Adam Jones next, and then Nelson Cruz.
2 pitches ago, he made a good pitch with the slider for a called strike. Does that help a guy think or feel like, all right, I got a good feel for it, a good release today?
Anytime you got a good breaking ball like that, you feel like you got something you can put somebody away with. That's always nice.
1-2 pitch. Deaza on the ground. Ian Kinsler will make the play, and there's a big out for Chamberlain and the Tigers. Retiring the first hitter. Away in the 8th. Chamberlain had a very good first half. Struggled a bit in the second half. Second half ERA post All-Star break in the mid-5s, and his repertoire rarely uses the changeup. He's basically a 2-pitch pitcher.
Yeah, before, you don't remember, he threw a lot more fastballs. He doesn't like his gas. I mean, you see, he's a breaking ball pitcher.
And who knew he could grow a beard like that from his Yankees days? No facial hair in the Yankees.
Said he couldn't grow a beard in college, couldn't grow a beard with the Yankees, so he's letting it all go now.
He's taking it to another level, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
1 gone. Adam Jones, who is 1 out of 3, singled and scored in the 4th inning, and Chamberlain in there with a strike. Here we go.
Duck Dynasty. Let's go.
Yes.
Auditions.
Inside that hit him. So Jones is hit by a pitch. That Victor Martinez RBI in the top of this inning looking bigger now. Chamberlain a 3-run lead to protect. Nelson Cruz will come up.
Yeah, I'm not hitting anybody. I wouldn't even come close to hitting somebody in this situation. 3-run lead.
And these guys coming up with the way they hit the ball out of the
How do
ballpark.
you misfire a fastball like that?
Chamberlain last night did not record it out. Gave up a hit, a couple of runs, an earned run. Tigers used 3 relievers last night. They gave up 7 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Chamberlain, Soria, and Phil Coke. Big swing by Nelly Cruz.
Brad Ausmus must feel like he's riding a mechanical bull. You know, he just got to hold on to that handle as long as he can when he brings the bullpen in.
Well, he pieced it together with Verlander and Anibal Sanchez. Sanchez gave him six big outs. Coming in for Verlander.
To me, it's a great big run. That 6th run is a great big run.
Yeah.
Anytime guy gets on, guy goes bridge, tie game. But you got to get 2 on. So much more difficult, obviously.
Five for 10 career. 2 of those 5 hits home runs off Chamberlain. They're trying. 48,000 strong. Two balls and a strike on Cruz. He got a lot of power coming up. That's the thing about the Orioles. It's not just Jones and Cruz. Steve Pearce has been a home run hitter. Hardy has been in the past, not this year, but he has in the past.
You don't even want to get the tying run at the plate. You don't need any more heart attack here.
No.
Everything away to Nelson Cruz. And a bullet into left field, a base hit. First and second for the O's. The tying run will bat in this 8th inning.
Boy, Cruz is all over that slider. Everybody and their brother knows that that's all he's throwing is sliders. And you drill somebody with a fastball, the batter before. Slider, swinging bat, that was a good one. That was his best one. Not so good there. 2 balls, looking for it again. 2-1. Yanks that ball to the ball.
Draped over the plate to get it.
He draped over the plate as well.
Nelson Cruz with his 2nd hit in as many at-bats. He's 2 for 4 today. Had 2 hits yesterday, including a 2-run homer. He drove in 3. And Brad Ausmus calls down to the bullpen to get Soria up and throwing again.
This Pearce, he likes to hook everything. He goes down there and hook that thing.
Oh, wow. Hanging, breaking ball.
He wasn't looking for that.
No.
He was looking away.
So bad it was good, maybe, from Chamberlain.
Oh.
Steve Pearce, you might remember last Thursday in that Derek Jeter game. He's the guy who hit the home run that tied the game in the 9th inning for the O's. That set up Jeter's heroics in the bottom of the 9th. Joe Nathan, they don't call on Nathan to give him 4 outs. He's a 1-inning closer.
He's fluttering right now, too. I guarantee you, I've been there just waiting.
2 on, 1 out. Pearce looks at one away. Suddenly Chamberlain has lost that slider and the Orioles aren't chasing.
Well, if you want to look at one area of the Detroit Tigers ball club over the last 3 postseasons and why they didn't get any farther than they did, that's a pretty good example of it right there.
He already got away with a hanger on the first pitch. He didn't want to do that again, so.
Hitters count. Steve Pearce. He committed. He was going to swing no matter what. And he chases one. 2-2 the count.
Well, obviously, the good slider is the slider for a ball. And this ball starts out on the outside corner and then disappears. He committed too early. The ball's way outside. Missed it by a foot. He would have put serious pressure on him. 3-1 pitch, but it's 2-2.
It's funny how a hitter's mind works, though. When you get a pitch that you're kind of looking for, you go after it anyway.
Pearce in the right field, the base hit. Jones around third, he'll score. It's It's a two-run game as Steve Pearce with an RBI single to the opposite field.
Great adjustment by Pearce. Tried to pull that slider on the pitch before. Goes the other way with this one.
Now, this is a beautiful thing. After the last pitch looking bad on it, ball off the plate a little bit, but that was when hitting was hitting. Just trying to get an out. Forget the 3-run bomb. You just got to continue this inning. Flips it over Kinsler's glove. Beautiful piece of hitting.
It's not a new problem for the Tigers. The last 5 games, they've allowed 18 earned runs. Another one is in. Pitching change. Soria's coming on. The Orioles have cut it to a 2-run game. Check it out. These Baltimore fans, they're just hawking the Tigers bullpen. Tigers bullpen struggle. Very funny. They cheered Jabba Chamberlain when he came in, and they cheered him when he went out. But you can see Molina, Holiday, and the Cardinals battle Puig, Gonzalez, and the Dodgers. Don't forget about Kershaw and Wainwright. They'll get that series started tonight. Game 2 on MLB Network. ALDS tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Bob Costas on the call for that one with Harold Reynolds. No Hardek, Joaquin Soria in here.
Sorry, Brian. You talk about the pressure on him.
They peppered him early in the count last night, and I talked to one of the Orioles hitters who said his ball's not moving. His ball's very straight, and that's why they're aggressive early.
J.J. Hardy.
This guy used to be the man with Kansas City. Had a second Tommy John surgery. Came over here from Texas. And got hurt, had an oblique, but since he's come back, he's just been very fair, like you said, not very crisp. Used to have a nasty slider, split finger, mediocre cheese.
2 on, 1 out. Tying run at first. Hardy looks at one away. And it goes to 2-0. Yesterday, J.J. Hardy, but a down year for the long ball for Hardy's been dealing with some back problems. No problem last night. 7th inning, leadoff home run. And it was a no-doubter. Gave the Orioles a little cushion in that game that they would need. Down and away. 3 balls, no strikes.
The Tigers desperate for somebody to step up and do the job out of their bullpen and get some outs. Not one of their starters like Sanchez did for 2 innings. They need one of those guys in the 7th, 8th, or 9th to step up and get it done.
They needed Sanchez to stay in this game for 1 more inning is what they needed today.
In there for a strike. Quiets him down for a moment. You saw a shot there on deck. Delmon Young, a former Tiger who's done big damage in the postseason. Showalter's been waiting for just the right time to use him.
Hard not to be anxious here, isn't it? 3-1. You saw a nothing fastball.
Real small zone right here.
Tigers looking to turn a double play to get him out of this inning. And Hardy takes ball 4. Bases loaded. And now the tying run into scoring position. And Delmon Young will bat, announced as the pinch hitter. Been one of the top pinch hitters in the American League all year. Jeff Jones out for a scouting report. And this is all lining up for the Orioles. As a Tiger, 2011 ALDS against the Yankees. Tigers were able to get through that series, move on to the league championship series. He got Soriano on the first pitch in game 3, and then in game 5, the put-away game.
He's going yard everywhere. Right field, left field, they know him as well as anybody, and they know that he loves to hack. I mean, he's a first ball swinger.
Absolutely.
And they need a double play ball bad.
Led the American League with 10 pinch hits.
Postseason, Delmon Young, 280 hitter, 8 homers, 15 runs batted in. And everybody knows he's ready to fire on the first one. bases loaded. Young swings, line drive, and he's down and to the wall. Cruz is in. Pierce is in. Hardy around third. He's going to try to score. And safe. The Orioles have the lead. The legend of Delmon in the postseason continues.
First ball swinging, gets a slider he can handle. He yanks that ball down the line, and as soon as he hit it, you knew it was going to be out of the reach of J.D. Martinez in left field, and you're just wondering, can the third run score on it? Hardy scores all the way from first on this. Look at this slider, hangs it just enough down the left field line. You're hoping that Martinez can get to this ball in a hurry to try to stop Hardy to score from first base. It's going to be a close play at the plate. You see the slide to the inside part, touches it with his hand. Incredible play. Kinsler's the one that cut that ball off, but he threw it too far inside. Couldn't get back to tag him.
Wow. Whoa. One small bobble was the difference here, Eck. When that ball came off the wall, J.D. Martinez didn't play it cleanly. It took him 2 grabs to pick it up, and that was the difference at home plate.
Oh, that was something. What a great slide by J.J. Hardy. Still 1 out. Still soaring. Here's Kelly Johnson pinch hitting. Buck Showalter going back to the bench. Delmon Young, man, oh man.
What an inning.
4 runs are in. 7-6. Orioles have the lead. And a lockdown closer in the bullpen getting ready as Johnson fouls one away. Oh, there was so much good for Orioles fans about this one.
Ripped it. Just ripped it. And now watch. Martinez, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see him from that angle. When he played it off the wall, it came off his glove, onto the ground. He had to pick it up again. And that was the difference.
You go back to this inning and you're talking about Pierce having that nice at bat, hitting that slider over Kinsler's head. Even Hardy taking ball 4, but hits a second cutoff man. Kinsler, the throw by Kinsler's too far inside because the throw beat him.
That is one heck of a slide by J.J. Hardy. The slide and the run that gives him the lead. If he's tagged out, 2 outs, and the game's still tied. Still 1 out now. Johnson in the air, center field. Carrera eases back. Young's going to tag. Carrera will make the catch. Delmon Young lugging his way to third base, and he'll make it with 2 outs. Out number 2. In between a whole lot of damage. First appearance for Kelly Johnson in this postseason.
I think we'll be able to see J.D. Martinez here. Here's the play off the wall.
Yeah, there it is.
That's just that slight little bobbles. All it took. Then he rushed his throw, which you're going to rush it anyway.
Hold his throw a little bit. Kinsler to the plate.
That's a good eye there, Joe. That could be the difference in this game. That could be the difference in this series. 9-hole hitter, Jonathan Scope with a runner at third and 2 outs as Soria deals a strike.
Poor Soria out there throwing 90 with a slider that's not biting.
Zach Britton in the bullpen. Buck had him up last inning. And a wave and a miss. How about the 8th inning for the Orioles the last 2 days? At this point, and we're not done yet, 12 runs. They've scored 12 runs in the 8th inning alone. 8 last night, 4 more today. What's a manager to do with that bullpen, right?
What are you going to do?
Pieced it together as best he could. He had him in a position.
Well, it was no secret coming in that that was their Achilles heel, that they just couldn't hang on to leads.
You got to give the credit to the Orioles. Those at-bats were great at-bats. Even the walk by Hardy to me.
How about Pierce's base hit, though, after he looked so bad on the slider before?
With 2 strikes. Soria deals a 1-2. Scope pops this one up. Kinsler is out, and he'll call it. He's got it. The inning is over, but the 8th inning is tearing down the Tigers. 4 more today. Delmon Young pinch hits, clears them with a double. 4 runs in, and the Orioles have a 7-6 lead as we go to the 9th. Well, those two just got to be sick. Soria and Java Chamberlain give it up again in the 8th. A 4-run Oriole 8. They now have the lead, and they have their lockdown closer coming on his pitch here. 7-6 Baltimore. Zach Britton. 3rd of an inning last night. Back at it here today to try to give the Orioles a 2-0 advantage in the series.
I'll tell you right now. You talk about Kelly Johnson over at third base. Defensive changes behind the plate. Hundley. But Britton on the mound. I've been there. This is one of the toughest, not only because it's a postseason, but one of the toughest games to save after all the adrenaline to score those runs. I mean, you are so pumped up. It seems like go out there and get them. No big deal, but these are one of the toughest.
You mentioned the lack of bench earlier. Hernan Perez is pinch hitting here. 8 at-bats on the year. All he had in the big league.
He was having a chat between innings with Victor Martinez, trying to get a scouting report. Britton deals an 0-2, a bouncing ball to Pierce. Plays the easy hop, and the O's are 2 outs away from a 2-0 lead. A 5-run 4th inning for the Tigers. They added one in the 8th, and Miguel Cabrera out of his mind in that dugout. You can understand seeing leads get away. And Soria just feeling all of that emotion. Andrew Romine will bat. It's the other part about what's happened here. The Orioles have taken the lead. So you get to the 9th inning. That's why that slide by Hardy is so important, because otherwise it's a tie game. But now that they've taken the lead, you got Britton on the mound with the bottom of the order here for the Tigers. They may not have to see anybody.
That makes the save a little easier, obviously, with the light hitting bottom of the order. But, you know, as a reliever, you're not even thinking you're in this game. As it slowly creeps up, everybody's going nuts, and you're saying, I've got to close this thing. I mean, you're nervous enough as it is, but you just get the adrenaline is just flying.
Well, Delmon Young does it again, this time to his old team. 3-run double to give him the lead.
You go back to Cabrera getting thrown out at the plate.
Yeah, exactly. That was a huge run.
Didn't think it would be, but with this Tigers bullpen struggling as they are, it certainly was. As Romine shows bunt, pulls it back. That's ball 1.
Another difference on these 2 ball clubs just showed up too. They bring Delmon Young and Kelly Johnson off the bench to pinch hit, and Brad Ausmus has Hernan Perez.
Just shows you the depth, the different depth on each team.
And they got Suarez on deck.
Right.
Well, all the Tigers are trying to do right here is get somebody on to get Kinsler to the plate. There's a swing and a miss. Romine overmatched. 96.
This
nasty sink from Britton.
Well, you get a swing and miss with a sinker right down the middle. So all this kid has to do is throw 1 pitch.
He's got Romine at a 1-2 count. Romine had a couple of hits last night. And down he goes. Zips it in. 97. 2 up, 2 down for Britton.
place is going to go crazy. It already is crazy, but you see back-to-back swing and misses with a sinker ball. This ball's out of the zone, not even close.
What life. Great movement.
Can't help but think about our interview with Jim Presley earlier in the game. In the 4th inning, the hitting coach of the Orioles said, I don't think 5 runs is going to win this game.
Said it wasn't enough.
Orioles have a 7-6 lead, 1 out to go to take a 2-0 advantage. The series will head to Detroit. Tigers fans will get their chance to be heard on Sunday. Eugenio Suarez trying to get Kinsler to the plate here in this 9th inning.
Yeah, I tell you what, when you only get 5 innings out of Verlander, that tells you something.
Anibal Sanchez gave the Tigers 2 superb innings. 6 up, 6 down. Suarez is swinging a foul tip. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, I tell you, this is when comebacks were comebacks. This doesn't happen very often.
Zach Britton deals it, and it's down and away. Game 3 starter for the Tigers, who's carrying a lot on his shoulders, David Price. That's why they made the trade for him to pitch in big games, and he's going to have one Sunday.
What a hit by Young.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a ground ball to short. J.J. Hardy, the man who scored the winning run, makes the play to end it. And the Baltimore Orioles have a 2-0 advantage in the American League Division Series. What a comeback. A 4-run 8th and a 7-6 win. Delmon Young delivers in the postseason again.
Just don't see that. I mean, it just doesn't happen. But go figure. The Tigers bullpen is what it's all about. They're word as can be, and it happened again.
48,000 back-to-back nights. Gut-wrenching loss for the Detroit Tigers. They had it. 6 outs to go. Walters Birds are flying high in Baltimore. This series moves to Detroit. We'll take a break. We'll be coming back on the other side. The Baltimore Orioles have announced that they are present and accounted for, right? In the 2014 postseason, they've guaranteed at least another game. Even if they drop 2 in Detroit, they're coming back here to Camden Yards, and who knows, that might be in the American League Championship Series. And Joe, what a comeback. Back-to-back games, 8th inning dominance by the Orioles offensively.
I'm stunned. I really am. It happened so fast, and it started with a hit batsman. Kind of got them started, and then all of a sudden it was time to tee off, and those guys get after you early in the count. Pierce had the great at-bat going the other way. First pitch swing from Delmon Young. Put him on top. Amazing.
That was a great slide from Hardy, the winning run, and Eck. Now from the Tigers' perspective, you're down 2-0. You still have great starting pitching. You got David Price ready to roll on Sunday.
That's the only thing good. If you're a Tiger fan right now, you are absolutely crushed. But you do have David Price. You have the best pitcher on the mound the next time out. You're back home. You just feel like you wasted a game. There's no good feelings going on. But the only people that feel good about anything is the Tigers, because they know that they can win 3 games in a row. You know, that's how you have to think about it. You can win 3 games in a row.
Well, the Tigers may have to go a page out of Bob Brindley's book in 01 when they had Schilling and Randy Johnson, and those two, they have 3 to do that. You might have to lose your bullpen and just figure it out. with your great starting pitching. We'll see. 7-6 the final score. TBS is your exclusive home of the American League postseason. Later tonight, 9 p.m., you can watch the MLB postseason pregame on TBS. It's presented by the all-new Chrysler, followed by Game 2 between the Royals and the Angels. For Eck, Joe Simpson, Jamie Maggio, and the rest of our crew, I'm Brian Anderson saying goodbye from Baltimore. 2-0, the Orioles lead in the series.